Soldiers, sailors, airmen and women enlist in the armed forces for many reasons, including a sense of duty, patriotism, the adventure, travel, and adrenaline. Many continue their military service because they discover a brother and sisterhood, an identity, a team. When service members are injured or wounded and can no longer perform their military duties, they quickly find themselves removed from their team, no longer serving the purpose for which they trained.
I came back from Afghanistan in 2013, and it was kind of a trial and error of finding out, after the military, what's next in life.
Being forced to leave a military career filled with purpose and pride can be challenging. Some challenges may leave lasting scars. An illness, wound, or injury can make anyone question their worth and sense of belonging after military service.
35 years in the Army, and I needed something to transition into. And so from that transition came an idea, and the idea was this.
Even though a military career may be coming to an end, or already ended, recovery can occur in the most unexpected places with unforeseen opportunities. Recovery, whether physical or mental, has no defined beginning or ending. It may last a lifetime.
For me, one of the biggest surprises that I found out going through it was that it's not like the flu where, you get sick and then you get better. You're never cured. And that's so frustrating. It's so hard to tell someone that. And it's so easy to slip back. And every single time you have to find a new way to fight it, it's a different monster every time you battle it.
This can feel daunting to a warrior who is suddenly forced to leave everything they know, trust, and love, finding themselves at the beginning of an unknown and possibly frightening new journey. Welcome to the world of motorsports.
We're in the right place at the right time in our lives to be able to take these guys that are wounded and put them in front of people that can actually show them that there is a camaraderie, there's a brotherhood within the motorsports industry, that there is potential for career opportunities for them if they have the skill set.
Motorsports offers an opportunity to regain that sense of identity within a safe, fast-paced team environment, providing a renewed sense of purpose. It has many facets, all created by teams working together for success on the track. Like in the military, in motorsports the goal is in accomplishing the mission, winning as a team, collectively celebrating the successes and supporting teammates through the losses. Through motorsport opportunities, Operation Motorsport assists medically transitioning service members and veterans with discovering new ways of achieving a renewed sense of hope, purpose and pride.
Besides the basic brake changing, oil changing, tire rotation, I've actually learned how to assemble and disassemble some engine parts, change some axles, do some alignments and stuff. So give it a try. You never know. This was nothing that I expected. I did not expect to be fully suited, jumping over a wall while cars were going 100 and something miles an hour.
From motors to media, tires to tickets, and hot laps to hospitality. Operation Motorsport provides beneficiaries the chance to become immersed within professional motorsports and provides them with the opportunity to find out firsthand what captivates their imagination and interest. These opportunities provide an avenue of discovery within the motorsports immersion or diversionary therapy programs, all within the Excite, Engage and Empower recovery programs. Operation Motorsport also offers virtual engagements and recovery opportunities through an iRacing league, engaging beneficiaries in a safe, competitive environment from the comfort and safety of their home. Meeting other like-minded people, service members and veterans on the virtual racetrack, opening the doors to Motorsport Academy programs that prepare beneficiaries for their first encounters at the racetrack, and possibly leading to a day when they can get behind the wheel.
A team environment's a perfect place for people like us to kind of get back into some kind of normalcy when you go through a lot when you get medically discharged. And it kind of sucks and you put through the ringer, but I feel like what Operation Motorsport's doing is something that's just really valuable.
Operation Motorsport prides itself in keeping beneficiaries engaged after the race weekend, throughout their recovery and beyond, through our recovery programs, or as a member of the 22 pit crew. No matter the background or story, Operation Motorsport is always there to listen, provide a safe and comfortable space, and a trusted circle of confidence that is open and honest about what difficulties may lie ahead for those transitioning out of a military career. Operation Motorsport believes in the power of team, identity, and purpose.
Our biggest thing is getting the word out, awareness of Mission 22, the struggle as it is to fight PTSD and suicide. My name is Corey Decker. I'm the state representative for Mission 22. This year's been great. We got a bunch of great guys that have gotten together and decided to create this rally. The word's getting out, and it's turning into quite an event where we can actually help a lot of veterans. It's a great event, but you really have to go and see it for yourself, and it's really one of those things that's an experience. Just going that weekend, we've seen how it changes people.
Welcome back to the stream. This is Gears Unlimited Friday Night Lights. We are in week 2. We're up north in Ohio at Limaland. little bit of short track action tonight. We're ready to get the show on the road. Got a special guest in the booth with me tonight. Chris Hannigan is on board with us in the booth. Chris, welcome to the show. We stole you away from the road racing side, so welcome to the show, my brother. Looking forward to a great night, and thank you for coming on board.
Man, Joe, I'm so excited to be here. This is awesome. Short track racing at Limaland. It's a quarter-mile track, lots of different grooves, some of the fastest drivers in dirt track racing. I am stoked to be here and to watch these guys sling these cars around this tight little track, man. This is going to be so much fun.
All right, welcome aboard. I'm looking forward to it. So we are getting ready to call the drivers off the track. As always here at Got Your Six Racing Network, we are racing for awareness of veterans issues. 22 veterans, or the report says that is down to 17 veterans a day take their own lives, which is 17 too many. If you know a veteran out there, maybe you haven't heard from them in a while, please reach out, let them know you're thinking about them. If you are a veteran out there, we do play promo videos throughout the night. If you're struggling through some things, all these companies out there are here to help, so please do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We're going to call the drivers off the track. As always, you will go along with us throughout the night as we communicate not only with you, but also the drivers. So let's get the drivers off the track and get the show on the road. All drivers clear the track, please. All drivers clear the track. All drivers clear the track, please. All drivers clear the track. Mic check. Mic check.
Yeah, sorry, Joe. I was just checking my settings there, too. I weren't hearing you coming through the game, so I think something's got to be adjusted there for sure.
Looks like all of my settings with this update were...
Just going to let some of these guys get some extra laps of practice while Joe figures that out. And, yeah, the more laps they run, obviously the drier that track's going to get. So if they want a nice tacky track, we got to figure this out pretty quick here. These guys are slinging some mud all over the place right now.
Let's try that, Chris. All drivers clear the track. All drivers clear the track, please.
There you go. That one went through.
Boy, that's not a way to start off the night. All right, drivers, welcome to week number 2, Gears Unlimited Friday Night Lights. The 358 Modifieds brought to you by A&J Landscaping. We'll go over some quick rules and got a couple announcements. Same rules as before. No interview after your podium finish, EOL. No photos, same story. You bring out 2 cautions in any race, heat race, or feature, and you will be DQ'd from that division for that night. No intentional contact at any time. Call-outs on Discord or anywhere else are inappropriate. It's don't send emails. Let yourself cool down before you send out a message. Excessive blinking, first time warning, second time EOL, third time you will be asked to park it for the night. Couple of quick announcements I put out tonight. We got the Dirt Track Bank World Finals coming up. We do have 3 provisionals coming out of Gears Unlimited Friday Night Lights. The driver who's registered, who does not make it by racing his way in, the leading driver in the 358s, the leading drivers in the limited late models, and the leading driver in the sprint cars will get a provisional start in the $1,500 grid. So looking forward to that. Those are 2 separate events. So if you guys want to sign up, you have to go to C2CRL, look for World Finals. Your driver's fee does not cover the World Final event. It is a fundraiser for Mission 22. So looking forward to a good turnout from the Friday Night Light gang. Other than that, I don't have anything else to announce. If there are any questions, comments, or concerns, now would be the time before we transfer over to qualifying. No question heard. We're going to advance to qualifying. Good luck. So there you have it, Chris. There is the driver's announcement. We're about to get the show underway. We have advanced to practice. What are you looking for tonight? I know you're not, you're fairly new to dirt racing, but what are you looking for tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, dirt racing is so much different than anything else on the iRacing service, right? I mean, the biggest thing with dirt racing is obviously the track itself. You're not racing so much the other cars as you are the track. Of course, the other cars get in the way, so you got to navigate around them, and that's all part of the big strategy. But I'm watching Joseph Grandy right now in the 5:18 run his qualifying lap. He ran the fastest laps in practice with a 12.9. It doesn't take long to get around this quarter-mile track, and I'm kind of keeping an eye on what groove he's running. And he looks like he's running the middle of the track. I saw some quick times on the cushion, kind of on the top of the line there as the track was drying out. Saw some guys running right down on those white tires on the bottom. But Joseph's going to run that middle lane. Let's see what kind of lap time he can do. He did a 13.1 first time by. Second time by, let's see if he can improve at all. Comes across the stripe, and he is going to do a 13.18. He did not improve. Looks like Cale Smith actually is going to bump him so far up to 13.0. Joseph's got a great time, though. 1:15
of Cale Smith, CTM racing driver. There's 3 of them in the field tonight. Put the 1:15 at the top of the board. Cale Smith times in with a 13.03. Cale was at a wedding last week and did not join us. Gavin Chatham is with us in the number 24 car. He's currently 7th quick. Travis Anderson, another one of the CTM boys. Looks like they may go 1-2 here. Travis Anderson
looks like he did.
Yes, sir. 0:33. CTM is 1-2-3, Chris.
That's a strong showing. And look how tight those times are as well. 13:02, 13:05, 13:06. Super tight at the top of the timesheets. In fact, the whole field here, all the way down to P18 and Randall Dixon, all within half a second of each other. But, you know, short track like this, there's not a lot of room to really pull up that much of an advantage on time-wise. So, very tight field. It's going to be a great race.
Yeah, man, short tracks always bring a lot of action. Hopefully, Jordan LaFawn now, the driver out of Indiana in the 11 car, he busts up that party at the top for the CTM boys. So put the 11 car 3rd quick.
See if he can go any faster second time around. I haven't seen anybody do it yet. It seems like the first lap is really the best lap. He did a 13:06 so 2,000 slower on his second lap. So first lap seems to be the golden lap here, and he did. He got P3 up there. Great qualifying run from Jordan.
Yeah, man, we've watched the 11 car and the 15 of Michael Carter battle it out. They've had some epic duels so far at the end of last year and last week. So those two drivers, they get after each other, man. They put on a heck of a show.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch, especially the way dirt track, you know, everybody does the heat racing is such a unique concept that, you know, from the road racing side, we don't get a whole lot of. And I love how the field gets staggered through these heats. They fight their way through, work their way up to the mains, and finally get into the feature for the show. This is going to be great.
And we're getting ready to do those heat races you spoke of. Heat 1 to the grid. Heat 1 to the grid, please. Cale Smith, Jordan LaFawn on the front row. Grant Wesley, Joseph Grandy in row number 2. Gavin Chatham, Michael Vitale in row number 3. Anthony Morano, Jake Henry in row number 4. David Tormachi, Randall Dixon round out your field of 10 drivers. All right, drivers, welcome to heat number 1. Leader, you know the drill. 1.5 car length behind the pace truck. Everybody else, once you get the 1 to go, tighten it up. Half car length between yourself, the car in front of you. The start is on green. Do not jump the start. Do not pass before the start finish line. Everyone, I believe, is heading to the feature. You got 8 laps to get it done. Race hard. Race clean. Welcome to week 2 Gears Unlimited Friday Night Lights. Good luck.
And 8 laps. Not a lot of time to get stuff done in the heats, but really, like you said, the top 4 advance straight to the feature. Not much time to get it done. This is going to happen super quick, Joe.
Yeah, which you'll see chaotic is when the caution comes out, trying to get everybody lined back up. So we may have to extend some cautions tonight. Our drivers are not professional drivers. Well, some of them may be, but it takes a while to get lined back up. Pace truck is off. As Cale Smith brings us to the green flag. Green flag is out. Jordan LaFont on the high side in the 11. The 115 stays down low. He's going to bring the 88 with him up to P3. Grant Wesley in the 88. Looks like everybody's working the bottom. That is advancing. I expect the top to... We got contact between Grandy and the 88.
Yeah, Grandy got a little bit of bumper on the 88 right there. Got him sideways a little bit. He might lose that transfer spot to the 213 on the outside there. 213 working that high line. Going to get the momentum onto the back straightaway here and get right up on the back. They might have got the wall a little bit, and that's going to open up the inside again for Grandy to try to get that spot back. Nice battle here for P4.
Yeah, man, you got 10 cars battling for the same spot on that low side. The 213 of Michael Vitale. As always, got to thank Michael for his service to his country. He is an ex-Air Force guy. So, Michael, thank you for what you've done for your country. Working lap 5 of 8 up front. The 115 of Cale Smith still holding the lead over Jordan LaFont. Wesley in P3. We may see a late race pass for that transfer position. Grandy in the 518. He's tough, Chris.
Grandy's working on it. He's trying to set him up here, but you don't have a lot of time. He's already working 2 laps to go here. Looks like that middle lane is where you want to be, and I don't see Grandy getting a huge run. He's trying to dive it into the corners a little bit, but he's not able to get the speed off the corner. But now Vitale's catching up to Wesley here on the final lap. Are they going to have any kind of show here coming out of turn 3 and 4? Let's see.
Coming off of turn 4, looks like Cale Smith is going to take the checkered flag. He tried, can't get it done. Smith, LaFont, Wesley, Vitale are your top 4. Great way to start the show. Heat 2 to the grid. Heat 2 to the grid, please. Travis Anderson, Michael Carter on the front row. Randy Shreves, Chris Cox in row number 2. Jeff Neron, Kurt Schatzer in row number 3. Billy Roberts, Samuel Bachman in 4. John Morano rounds out your field of 9 drivers. All right, drivers, welcome to heat number 2. Leader, you know the drill. I need you 1.5 car length behind the pace truck. Everybody else, once you get the 1 to go, tighten it up. Half car length between yourself, the car in front of you. Start is on green. Do not jump the start. Do not pass before the start finish line. You got 8 laps to get it done. Race hard, race clean. Put on a great show. Good luck. We got those CTM boys on the front row, Chris. This is going to be exciting. That 15 has been super quick.
Yeah, so far it's looking really good. I mean, if you stay up front, obviously you're going to do well and get right into the feature and not have to work your way up there. But we're seeing the track. It looks like unless you get a good run out of a corner, it looks pretty difficult to pass right now with the track in the current state that it's in. So let's see if these drivers can start to widen out, maybe work that top groove a little bit, and start to do some overtakes here.
Yeah, you can see that middle starting to wear out as they come out of turn 4, looking for the green flag. Green flag is out. Anderson will dive down low. Teammate to his outside in the 15. Looks like the outside will have the advantage coming off of turn 2. It will be Carter at the line, the 515, last year's champion of Chris Cox, currently running in P3. Randy Shreves in the 56 is P4, followed by Kurt Schatzer, the dirt track bank driver.
Yeah, Schatzer just gave Shreves a little bump there going into turn 1, trying to get him a little loose, but he wasn't able to get the move done as everybody starts to string out a little bit here, working lap number 3, almost halfway done with this heat.
Up front, Michael Carter holding a steady lead over his teammate, Travis Anderson, followed by last year's champion, Chris Cox, and the 56 car, who was a champion in sprint cars last season. So we have some usual customers at the front of the field, working lap 5 of 8. I'm not sure, Chris, how hard Carter and Anderson will battle being teammates.
Yeah, they're pretty close to each other, but you might as well just settle in at this point and run the heat out and get your finishing spot. But I'll tell you what, Anderson is all over the rear of that 15 car right now as we work lap number 6. Only got 2 laps to go this time by. In fact, I mean, he's right there, Joe. Obviously, he's got a nice gap back to P3. There's really no need to force this here, but Would be nice to put on a good show here for the fans.
You can see that slick getting in the middle. The cars are starting to move up the track to get above that slick spot. That will create 2 lanes of racing late in the race. You'll have a low groove and a high groove. They wore that middle out, but coming to the line, Michael Carter currently has the lead. Anderson's going to go for the bottom. Can't get it done. Carter, Anderson, Cox, Shreves are your top 4 heading to the feature. Another great heat race. 3 minutes of warm-up. Ladies and gentlemen, those are your 2 heat races. We will take a quick break with a quick commercial, and we will be right back.
1, 2, 3. I love it, Molly.
They say it's a matter of time, 1,000 days and the sun won't shine before I come back to you. For your love I will go far, I wanna be wherever you are. I know I'm coming back for you.
Brother, it's good to see you.
My love is a river long, the best ride in a million wrongs. I know I'm coming back to you. And I'm happy, nothing's going to stop me. And I'm happy, nothing's going to stop me. I'm making my way home, I'm making my way.
Welcome back. We are getting ready to go feature racing, so this should be interesting, Chris. We'll get the cars on the grid, and we'll chat about what to look for here tonight. Feature to the grid, please. Cale Smith, Michael Carter on the front row, LaFawn Anderson in row 2, Wesley Cox in 3, Vitaly Shreves in row number 4, Grandy Schatzer in 5, Chatham Bachman in 6, Henry Neron in 7, Dixon Roberts in 8, Morano in 9, and David Tormachi rounds out your field of 19 drivers. All right, drivers, welcome to the feature. Your initial start is not unlike your heat start. It is on the green flag. Do not jump the start. Do not pass before the start-finish line. Leaders, stay 1.5 car length behind that pace truck. Everybody else, once you get the 1 to go, tighten it up. Half car length between yourself, the car in front of you. You got 25 laps to get it done. You started off the show absolutely amazing. Race hard, race clean. Good luck, drivers. Watching these guys warm up, Chris, they push that cushion out. Once that bottom gets wore out, you'll see guys scraping that top wall with that right rear fender. They'll go way up high, and a few will venture that bottom line. So we should see 2 distinct lines of racing, man. This is going to be exciting.
Yeah, they're already putting on a good show. You can see how in warm-up, I was watching the same thing you just said, Joe. That high line seemed to be the way around the track. There were a few guys exploring that low side for grip, trying to feel it out, but we're getting ready to go green. Let's see what these boys can do.
Cale Smith, Michael Carter, CTM front row. Matter of fact, 3 CTM drivers in the top 4. Green flag is out. We are underway. Cale Smith down low, Michael Carter on the high side. So we got a mixture. We got some cars.
Ooh, 33 in the wall in the back straightaway. Looks like he got squeezed coming out of turn 2, and he's still getting hit.
Let's take a look.
It's like John Morano coming out of turn 2 on the first lap, got squeezed up there. All the cars seem to kind of accordion into each other coming out of turn 2 there. 3-4 wide there for a moment. Usually the first lap, you kind of just find your way around, try to figure out your rhythm, try to find the spot on the track you're going to fall into pace-wise with the other cars. You can see John up here just minding his business, but everybody, all those cars on the left side start kind of washing up, and he just runs out of real estate right here, catches the left or the right rear, gets into the wall, then for good measure gets squeezed again, and then gets turned around like a turntable 3 or 4 times as the rest of the field comes by. Not the start you want if you're John Morano in a 33.
No, and that's actually Travis Anderson, the 033. He's one of the CTM boys, so he came off 4th on the grid. He does have some time to get back in this, but you're absolutely correct. Dirt racing, that first corner can be an absolute nightmare. A lot of drivers try to win the race on the first corner. We're getting ready for a restart. Cale Smith on the bottom. Michael Carter to his outside. The 88 car of Grant Wesley, he's digging on the bottom side still. 515 of Chris Cox. He's going to run the middle right above the slick.
Everybody's trying to find their way around the track right now. It looks like Travis just went ahead and parked it for the night. He's done for the evening. He's going to switch over, maybe join us for the late models here in a little bit. But yeah, drivers, nobody really wanting to run that slick in the middle. They're either going to run the high line or the tack right below it. Try to find their groove, try to find their slot in this train here. 25 laps will go by quickly, so you want to get settled in quickly. And if you're going to make a move, you got to make it now while the cars are close.
Man, you can hear we're on board with Grant Wesley, currently in P3, all the way off the throttle on that bottom side. I will tell you, that can pay off. I have used that tactic many times. I'm not brave enough to get up on that wall for sure.
Yeah, watching the 213 right now of Michael Vitale, he's trying to get settled in on that high line. He's kind of running the slick there, and it's not working out for him. He's got the 24 on the low side. He's got some other cars going around on the outside here, but he's just trying to slide in there. The 24 car of Gavin Chatham is holding on the bottom and holding his own. He's going to try to squeeze up in front of Vitale there. Didn't quite get it done, but I think the 24 has been on the low line since this thing started. Right now, he's the only car running that low line, trying to stay in contact with these cars as we get this race going on here.
I'm telling you, once this track wears out, he might have something down there. He'll be the first one that knows that bottom line. Up front, you're looking at Carter Smith and Wesley. They are breaking away from the field. The 3 under a blanket. Great run by your top 3. Chris Cox, the 515 in P4. Caution comes back out. Looks like Anthony Morano was involved. Let's take a look.
See Anthony going into turn 3 here. Running the high line. Did he just catch the wall with the right rear? Looks like he's staying off of it. Maybe run out of real estate coming out of turn 4 right here.
That turn 4 wall comes up in a big hurry. If you don't hit it just right, it gets a little flat right there.
There
Into the wall goes the 32. And I have neglected my duties. Let's go on board with 32 and say good evening to Sherry, his wife out there. Sherry, as always, thank you for tuning in. I don't think you wanted to see your name upside down this early, but it is an early night. Greatly appreciate you tuning in and supporting the broadcast.
Absolutely. TV time's TV time, no matter how you slice it, Joe. So Sherry got her plug. Thanks for having you, Sherry. Glad you're here. These drivers going to settle themselves back down. And we got, 15 laps to go, Joe? So we got a little bit more racing to get done here. Got to settle this thing out.
Yeah, they are putting on a show. I was always worried when you go to a short track. Sometimes you hit it just right, and sometimes you have a bunch of cautions, but I don't think you will find many better drivers in iRacing than what we have. Michael Carter took over the lead from his teammate. He's on the pole. He's running the high side, as is Cale Smith. Now Grant Wesley, he decided to go down to the bottom side. So he was up high. Yeah.
Yeah. When you start too wide, you can't all take the high lane, so you got to reshuffle somewhere. And on these restarts, you'll find guys exploring all different parts of the track, trying to find their way around. 88, Grant Wesley just trying to hang on the low line here. And we got a lap car in front of the leaders here. This may make it a little bit interesting as well. The 32 is going to be right in front of our pack.
The 88's holding his position, and once they come out of the corner exit, I think the 32 car is going to play in this. There's his opening to get up high, and he took it. Grant Wesley now back on the high side. Carter, Smith, Wesley.
Yeah, 24 still running the low line too. Gavin loves that. Looks like he likes that low lane, or just can't get high, one of the two. But he's down there with the 32 right now, as all of our leaders seem to be running the high lane here. Just get around the 32, run some laps off, and try to set up try to set up the car in front of them for an overtake when they can.
Yeah, Gavin will tell you he's a sprint car guy, but he can wheel just about anything, and he typically is on that bottom, so he is no big surprise to see the 24 down there. What I am surprised is we have so many cars still up high. I guess we still have a pretty large band of grip at the top. Michael Carter still leading the show. Cale Smith in P2. Go on board with Cale Smith, go a lap around Limaland. What are you seeing, Chris?
Hey, you throw it into the corner as hard as you can, try to keep it off the wall, use that banking right up against the wall to help the car rotate, get back on the throttle, get a straight line off the corner as you can. It looks easy, but I promise you it's not. I promise you it's not. These guys are running as hard as they can. You know, biggest movers so far, too. I mean, Joseph Grandy in the 518 up to P5. He actually started P9. He's up 4 positions. And so is Gavin Chatham in the 24 running that low lane. He's also up 4 positions. He's running side by side right now with Randy Shreves. Still, side by side running around this track. One on the low lane, one on the high lane. And at 88, Grant Wesley's moved down low to try to get a position here.
He did. P3. Yeah, he went down low. I don't know. It doesn't look like the top is wearing out to me, but I'm not behind the wheel, obviously. But Wesley, he likes that bottom side. I think he found something when he was forced to go down there, Chris. He likes it down there, and he's holding his own.
Yeah, we got about 3 laps to go here, Joe, and he looks like he's actually making ground in the middle of the corner, but he's not getting the drive off, obviously. He's not on that high line, so we may see a late slingshot here, or slide job, I guess they call it in dirt racing, right? Where you slide up in front of somebody. So let's see if he sets up for that. Got about 2 laps to go. The top 3 are very close to each other. Michael Carter leading Cale Smith on the back straightaway. Grant Wesley in the 88 on the inside, trying to spoil the party as that high line does start to get worn out here. Final lap.
1 to go. Michael Carter at the front of the field, bringing his teammate with him. Wesley, he moves up into P2 momentarily. He's digging down hard. It's going to come to the line. Can't get it done. CTM boys 1-2. Michael Carter and Cale Smith. Grant Wesley will finish P3. What a great show. All top 3 start finish line, please. Top 3 start finish line. Well, Chris, welcome to the show. Man, I don't think you could have came at a better time. That was absolutely amazing.
Oh, that was such a great race, Joe. These guys obviously doing the best they can. I mean, the track's small, the track's tight. Grant Wesley almost pulled it off there at the end. He gave it a heck of a run for Cale.
All right, fellas, got it. Head up for interviews, please. Everyone else, limited late models will start. We got over with this one quick, so it starts at 1:15. So we'll get a word with your top 3, man. What a great night of racing. I'm telling you, Chris, I do not a lot of racing anymore, but these guys are among the best, man. It is so fun to be a part of this. I absolutely love every second of it.
Oh, it's such a good product, Joe. I mean, the stream, the cause, everything you do is fantastic with this. So I'm so thrilled to be a part of it. And that racing was fantastic. It's hard to be that close on the edge with both the wall and the other cars all the time, and keep it clean, which these drivers did. It was fantastic to watch.
Yeah, man. Let's get a word. Grant Wesley in the booth. The 88 car moved up 2 from his start. Man, Grant, this is Joe. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, I still got goosebumps. That was absolutely amazing. You went down low a lot earlier than the other 2 leaders. Did you find something down there you liked, or you just couldn't pass them high?
The track tonight was perfect. The very bottom and the very top were matched equally. I could pretty much run the bottom just like I could run the top. I just wasn't able to find enough down there on the bottom to get around them. So I'm never content drawing equal with somebody. I always search around. So, early on in the race, I went to the bottom. It was sort of drawing even. So I just went back to the top. I was hoping to burn that top off a little bit and then maybe use a bottom late in the race. I felt like I was a little bit better than second place. I kept inching up on them, but it was going to take too long. And the race was only 25 laps, so short race.
Yeah, man. I know you can't see it from the cockpit, but I was watching the SDK board, and you were actually taking over second place. It looks like there wasn't a ton of drive off, but there were times when you pulled in front of Kale, man. And I'm telling you, man, what a great show. And I got to thank you. I see the GY6 on board, so thank you for your support, man. You got anybody you'd like to thank for your podium finish?
I'd like to thank your sponsors here, Gears Unlimited, the Dirt Track Bank. Just thank everyone that supports this series. It's such a great place to race, and I appreciate the opportunity to come run with you guys. I'd like to thank you, Joe. You do an awesome job here doing the broadcast. Really appreciate it. I'd like to thank my teammates at AR Animal Racing and my friends and family for watching, and my girlfriend Brittany.
Yeah, man, we're going to see you the rest of the night in limited late models and sprint cars?
Unfortunately, I'm one and done tonight.
One and done. A podium. You know what, man? I think if I got a podium, I think I've said this before on the air, I'd be done too at my age. It's been a long time since I got a podium. So great run by you, my friend. I wish you a great weekend. And again, thank you, man. It's awesome to see that GY6R on the podium, man. Greatly appreciated.
Yep, pleasure's all mine.
Second place, we'll bring in Cale Smith, Chris. He is in the booth.
Yeah, Cale did a great run. Cale, welcome to the booth. Congrats on the P2 finish. No, you started on the pole right there. Couldn't quite bring it home for the win, but I'll tell you what, it looked like you and Grant were having a fantastic race there in the last 5 or 6 laps. Can you walk us through it?
Yeah, man, it was unfortunately I did start on pole, but I had Michael Carter, my teammate, next to me, and he's tough to beat any race. So I kind of just filed in behind him, and we were just trying to click off times. And yeah, before I knew it, Grant was on the bottom. I'm thinking, man, we got a race here. But yeah, I was just trying to keep it on the top there, just trying to stay quick. I didn't think there was quite enough on the bottom with the laps we had left, and it worked out. So good race.
Yeah, P2 is a P2 no matter how you slice it, man. A great finish, and the high line looked like the way to go. I think Grant did a great job trying to get under you there, but like you said, the race happens quick. Just wasn't enough time to get it done. And again, congrats on the second place finish. You got anybody you want to thank tonight?
Yeah, thanks CTM Motorsports. Michael Carter on the win there. Congratulations, and then Grant too, and the podium. Travis Anderson. I think he got wrecked like turn 1, turn 2, and it's too bad because I think he would have been really quick tonight. Sponsors, Sim Coaches, A-Log Pedals, Redline Race Designs, you guys that got your 6 Racing Network. I'm a military guy. I got Navy and Marine Corps Relief Society on the back of my car, so I'm always representing and supporting the military. Joe and Gears Unlimited, man, thank you guys. I always look forward to racing. I wasn't here last week, but hopefully be here every Friday.
Yeah, man. I actually let me cut in. I'm sorry, Chris. I actually noticed that Navy logo on the front of your car, and man, I have to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your service, and it is greatly appreciated.
You as well, man, and everybody. I know there's a huge group within iRacing dirt community that are veterans or current active duty or anything, so huge thanks to those guys.
Yeah, man, ladies and gentlemen, that is Cale Smith. Brings it home P2 right behind his teammate. That would be the 15 of Michael Carter, who is no stranger to victory lane. Michael, heck of a run tonight, man. You were able to get by Cale. Walk us through your night.
Oh yeah, started outside pole there, and I didn't know if I could get him there on that start. He got me pretty good on the first one, but I knew that high side is pretty dominant here at Lima, and I just kept working it, and fortunate enough we was able to get up top there and make it work. And I mean, hats off. He ran a good race too. He was right there on my bumper the whole time. So one little mistake, and I'm pretty sure he could have got me there.
Yeah, Travis ran into an issue, but you had 3 CTM boys, all 3 of you starting in the top 4, put on a whale of a show, man. What a great way to start the night. Another victory for the 15. So you're heading to the Dash for Cash once again, which was a great event. You got anybody you'd like to thank for your victory?
Oh yeah, of course. I gotta thank Rainey Carter Painting, CTM Motorsports, Cale Smith, Travis Anderson, Redline Race Designs. Gotta thank you guys here, Friday Night Lights, GY6RN, the Dirt Track Bank. Who else here? The admins, all you guys. I appreciate everything y'all do. Really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to that finale at the end of the year.
Yeah, man. So you got to tell me a story about the real car. Where are we at with that?
Well, we won a few weeks ago. We got our first win of the year. We finished 4th in points. Actually, only 20 points out of the championship. It was a really tight year. We only finished 1 race out of the top 5 all year, so it was a really good year.
Yeah, man.
Really happy, man.
It looks like that transfers over to iRacing here a little bit. So, man, as always, it's great to see the CTM crew out here, man, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you, my brother. We'll see you in the limited late models. You going to wheel the sprint cars once again?
I might give it a try here. I like this track, so I might be there tonight. Yeah, I might go ahead and try that.
Awesome, man. We'll see you over there.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. So, Chris, there you go. There's your first dirt race, and it was a dandy. What are your thoughts?
I love it, man. This is fantastic. Like I said, it's so different from where I'm from, and I just recently started getting into it. But I think all 3 drivers said it, right? This track is fantastic. I mean, some of these tracks are naturally good at putting on good racing and making good drivers shine, and that's what these guys did. When they run up front like this, they get the good laps in qualifying, get the cars the right position in the race. We saw in the restarts 3-4 wide going through turns 1 and 2 before everybody sorts themselves out. And I can't wait to see the late models and the sprint cars tonight, see what they can do as well.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a lot of fun. Ladies and gentlemen, there is the 358 Modifieds. We're going to take a break. We'll be back at about 1:45. Appreciate everybody tuning in, and stick with us. We will be right back.
My name's Nick Powers, and I'm the president and lead instructor of Warfighter Scuba. I'm a veteran of the United States Marine Corps from the years 2003 to 2007, with 1 combat deployment to Haditha, Iraq in 2006. Throughout my time overseas, I experienced a lot of situations that you wouldn't necessarily find yourself in the United States. IEDs, getting shot at, rocket attacks, mortar attacks, you name it, it happened. When I got out of the Marine Corps in 2007, I tried to adjust back to civilian life, and the whole time you're in, you just can't wait to get out. And when you get out, you start to realize, did you make the right decision? 9 times out of 10, most of the guys that get out, they immediately plummet into a depression cycle because you don't have that structure anymore that the military provides you. And this hit me super hard. We moved to one of the #1 top dive destinations in the entire world, and I figured I'd start getting back into scuba diving. And after our first couple dives, I realized how peaceful it was underwater and how none of my problems followed me. You're just there in the present moment. had the idea for Warfighter Scuba, and I kind of hinted at it, and they said, "You go for it." And that's basically how Warfighter Scuba was born. So Warfighter Scuba is a nonprofit. We're a 501c3 nonprofit with the IRS. We bring combat wounded veterans down to the Caribbean to teach them scuba diving to treat their wounds. Whether their wounds are physical or mental, such as PTSD, scuba diving is a extremely therapeutic activity for mental stressors and for physical ailments. Mentally, as soon as you go underwater, your body just reacts. It's not normal. You're not meant to breathe underwater. Automatically puts you into the present moment. You have nothing but peace and calm. This ability to separate yourself from reality really allows veterans to find out what their trigger mechanism might be for their particular mental stressors. So every veteran who comes through our programs gets a 100% funded trip. Each veteran also receives a round-trip ticket from their home of record. That ticket will bring them straight into Roatan, and their entire week stay, their hotel, their meals, their snacks, everything's paid for. And so that veteran can get an entire week away from reality and completely separate from any kind of problems they might be facing at home. So each veteran receives very private and intimate training sessions when they come down to Roatan. We first start in the pool, we do some confined water skills, we'll then switch out to the open water dives. From that point on, it's not even training anymore, it's just fun. It's learning on a level that I don't think most people have experienced before. We do all the certifications for them that we can in a week at their pace, from open water to full face mask to nitrox. Every trip that we have, whether it's one veteran or 4 veterans at a time, we just have a blast. There's no bad karma. We've seen sharks, we've seen turtles. We've seen 4 eagle rays at once. Just the things that happen when we're in the water together are truly, they're just unbelievable. The dedication that these vets have now to scuba diving and to wanting to come back and to help other veterans experience what they've experienced, it hits me in the heart more than most things have ever hit me in my heart. It's truly an honor to take these heroes into the water. It's really cool to see the transformation that happens to them, from being, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. I've gone snorkeling a few times, or I'm not that good of a swimmer. And the funny thing about scuba is none of that matters. You're completely weightless in the water. You could come down and have 0 experience in the water and be one of the better scuba divers out there. So as with all nonprofits, we rely solely on generous donors such as yourselves. None of these programs could exist without people who are willing to give some of their hard-earned money up to save veterans who might be struggling with everyday life and have that unfortunate thought of suicide. 100% of every dollar that's donated goes directly to the veterans. I personally, myself, I do not take any kind of money. All my time is donated. There's no salary to anybody who's on the board or any staff positions in Warfighter. Donations can be made on our website at www.warfighterscuba.org. And remember, every donation is 100% tax deductible.
History repeats itself. History is always happening over and over again. So one of the ways to stop a theme, one of the ways to stop something from reoccurring is to first of all admit it. It didn't take long for us to quickly realize that there was power behind Mission 22, power behind its brand, power behind its message, and power behind its people that represented it.
All right, my friends, day 19 of 22, the 22-day push-up challenge. Day 19 means 418 men and women have possibly committed suicide in the last 19 days. I went and looked up my ship, the USS Rushmore. More people who have killed themselves by now than ever served on our ship at one time in just 19 days.
19, 20, 21. One more. Y'all ready for the last one?
Mission 22 has become a decentralized nationwide effort to show love, to raise money, to be available for other warriors, to be able to be a point of contact, to let the warriors know, but also for warriors to let other warriors know that there is a community. You're not alone. This isn't happening in silence. You're not forgotten. You know, we brought 4 veterans from all different parts of the United States and brought them together to hike through the state of Oregon.
May God bless you on your journey. Thank you for serving our country and for being willing to go on this walk. I'm praying you feel peace and strength with each mile.
You know, on this hike, some folks found God, some folks remained sober, some folks lost a significant amount of weight to be able to participate. And not so much just a healing walk for us as warriors, but for us to contribute to other people's healing. You know, this hike, we raised $12,000 for endobiogeny. Some of the folks on this hike, you know, they're going to be volunteers for this treatment. And I couldn't be more pleased and more proud because it was difficult. We had a lot of struggles. Not everything on this hike went pretty, you know, but we put some skin in the game. At the end of the day, we were able to raise money and we'll be able to use that money so guys can get the treatment that they need. The War at Home Monument is an example of our social impact, of our awareness, of our permanent fixture to do the work that we can't always do, to always remind us of what we've lost and what we will lose if we don't reconcile it. What we've done is taken 20 different veterans with their families' permission and used them as a silhouette to cut out of a 3,000-pound plate of steel. These warriors are placed in a V, and this is to show the size of the problem. This is to show the empty space they leave behind. And it's also to be a constant reminder of what happens when we don't listen to the stories of the warriors that fought in our name. Because it's not okay. It's not okay that everyone didn't know about veteran suicide. It's not okay that these things were a secret or left unsaid, or that it was shameful. It's not okay that it's shameful to suffer alone and suffer in silence, because if you ask for help, that you're no longer a warrior, that you're weak.
Yeah. So I come back and I thought everybody else changed. So I pushed my family away. And it took a long time to really realize it because I didn't want to look internally. You know, I got my Class A CDL and hit the road. I was on the road for about 8 years trucking. And this makes me think about how insignificant all of the major things going on are. I mean, what, 1 million years ago, that blew up. And, you know, over time became this.
Whether it's hiking mountains or building monuments, it takes a community to heal a warrior. Warriors didn't get damaged and didn't become separated from the sunlight of the spirit on their own. It happened in the name of this nation. We can change the way we think about war, how we think about warriors, how we think about ourselves, and what we think we're going to do in the American community. We can do it now. We can do it here. And there's going to be another generation of warriors coming. We can set the tone to create a culture that grabs them up and loves them and smothers them in resources, in opportunity, right now.
I'm Chris Jakimick, and I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. Throughout my military career, I spent the bulk of my career out in Las Vegas. You know, it was the first job I had as I was protecting some sensitive resources out there at Nellis. I would deploy to Kuwait early on in my military career with a larger weaponry system to support Operation Southern Watch. And then from 2003 to 2006, I was part of the emerging drone mission for the United States Air Force and Department of Defense. we were fighting the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan from our backyard. You'd be in war for 12 hours of your shift, and then you'd drive home to your apartment here in Nevada. So psychologically, it was very odd. Like, you felt you were in the combat zone every day because you were seeing it on the screens and it was that important. But I don't know what it did to the human psyche at the time. Some things would kind of happen in my personal life after that would change a lot. When Adam joined the Marine Corps, it was a natural fit. Anybody who joins the military, especially after 9/11 happened, you're looking for that purpose. I think that's why he made the choice. It's like, let me go be a Marine. He was in between Fallujah and Ramadi during the heaviest parts of the fighting of the Iraq conflict. I mean, you hear guys like Jocko and everything talk about like the triangle of death. My brother was dead set in the middle of the triangle of death with a Marine unit. I think it changed him. Like, you look at everything across history, you read any of the books out there, war changes anybody that's been involved with it. Trauma or mass events like that changes anybody, and it really changed my brother. And I get that call. I get the text, actually, from my stepmom. I was like, I need you to call me as soon as possible. Something's wrong with Adam. All right. Didn't think anything of it. And I'm about to pull off the highway to go celebrate and have some pizza with my classmates, and she's like, Adam's dead. Adam's dead. He had died by suicide that day, 25th of July, 2017. And it changed my world forever.
I think that was the first time I saw or heard someone broken through the phone. There was a time where I was concerned that he wasn't going to make it. There were times I thought, we're going to have to camp out outside of his house, or we might get that phone call. Are we ready for that phone call?
I couldn't catch a break. A fellow first sergeant I served with, he had died by suicide. On the day of my buddy's funeral, I'm going through social media, and I see this, what appears to be a manifesto from one of my old airmen. My first thought was like, today's not going to be a good day. And sadly, my hunch was right. He had killed his own family and taken his own life on the day of my buddy's funeral. It was just compounding trauma after trauma after trauma. I cracked. I fell hard with alcohol. That was rock bottom. I first heard about Mission 22 just by like surfing the internet and looking on there and seeing some of the programs that they had available. I was like, something seems right about this. To be in a program like the R&R program with them and the innovative things that they're putting together, I have not seen in any other veteran nonprofit. It's putting all this stuff together to heal in the most effective way possible. They're making you do a lot of the hard work through reading, through audiobooks, through physical fitness, through nutrition, open discussion, critical thinking, neuroplasticity and cognitive feedback to where you're developing the brain more. It's given me a chance to regain my life. Cycling's been a big part of my recovery. Is around the time I retired, a little over a year ago, I set forth, I was like, let me set this goal to ride 2,020 miles in 2020 for another veteran nonprofit that supports Gold Star families and those lost either to accident or to suicide. Every time I got on that bike, I was like, you know what? There's a name, there's a dash that I'm gonna honor today. Not the dates on the gravestone. Is like, I'm gonna honor that life. So it gave me purpose. And it just became like a release for me to where the pedals would spin and I would get out of my head for a little bit. Physically, I was starting to feel better. I could see the improvements, and I've tracked my data over the past year, and it's phenomenal on the growth that I've had on a bike.
He's just on a mission and is relentless about it. Every day he pushes it. From the loss of his brother and a number of different trauma that he had gone through in his life, it was absolutely critical for him to find something that he could sink his teeth into. I think he's taken the ball and run with it with Mission 22, especially the R&R, the recovery and resilience part. I think it makes him stronger in the person that he is today.
I don't know why I fell on the bike. It was just like, okay, it called to me, and then I kept going. So you know that scene from Forrest Gump where he just starts running one day and it ends up in Monument Valley in Utah? He's like, I'm tired, I think I'll go home now. I'm not tired yet. I'm not ready to throw the towel in like Forrest Gump did. I'm getting on that bike and I'm keeping on going because there's something about it. There's something about just getting out in nature, having that breeze in your face and seeing some of the beautiful landscape here in Las Vegas where it takes you away from the stressors and the challenges of the world for a little bit. And you can just appreciate the beauty that is out there and be in the moment. And then it got serious because the Air Force enrolled me in the Air Force Wounded Warrior program and it got transformed into lo and behold training. If I do this well, maybe I can go represent the Air Force. Maybe my grief and everything in my entire story can come to fruition because I can put the energy into something positive. If I made the team, I'd just be overwhelmed with emotion. I suffered a lot of my trauma because of my military service, but at the end, it's like, I gotta be grateful that I'm allowed to compete in this because there are others who didn't make it home or lost the war at home that's what it's about.
Oh my gosh, everybody! I am so excited. My heart's pumping, my hands are sweaty. Please welcome our very own Director of the Air Force Wounded Warrior Program, Colonel Rich Obert. Over to you, sir.
Welcome, warriors and athletes. Today we're going to announce the 2021 Air Force Team for Warrior Games. The selection was difficult as there were many hardworking and deserving individuals, and the work and dedication was apparent by all. I know the suspense is killing you, so I'll turn it back over to Marcia. Good luck to each of you. Back to you, Marcia.
All right, thank you, sir. Starting us out from Air Education and Training Command, Major Daniel, Lieutenant Dan Cariña. Yes, yes, yes. Air Combat Command, out of Texas, Master Sergeant Nicole Nikki Favuza. From Valdosta, Georgia, Technical Sergeant retired Antonio Del Vecchio. From East Liberty, Ohio, Airman retired Pete Murphy. Technical Sergeant retired Margie Hinkle. And coming up next, former pole vaulter, that is very similar to Blaze Velarde, coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada, Master Sergeant retired Chris Jacksomek. Warrior Games competitor back on the team, Staff Sergeant retired Joseph Alex Pate.
Whew.
What? He did
All right.
big things back in the day. He's gonna do big things. Coming to you from St. Henry.
Wow. We look at Mission 22 and we see all the shirts, we see all the flags out there. I don't think enough of the people understand how big the programs actually are and how that is actually in there. And like, I'm a benefactor from the donations of these private donors that are there to allow me to live life, to improve life for not only myself, but for friends, for fellow veterans, for my children, for my girlfriend, for my family, is to be that, to say, you know what? We can keep going at the end of the day. We can keep going, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how difficult life becomes, we can keep going.
We have this this value in the Air Force, this belief, a wingman concept. We're gonna take care of each other. We've got each other, and it gives us hope. right? And so if you have been knocked down, I say this a lot, by the baseball bat of life, right? You're on the ground. If you know that someone's got you, it's got your six, no matter what, that's gonna help you get back up again. And that's part of Mission 22, I think, for him. That connection, that human connection, that's what's gonna save us. Yeah, that's what saved him. He can be a light in darkness. No matter how dark that spiral is, to know that someone got back up again and navigated their way out, that they can get through it too, that they are not alone. Not for one moment of one day. That's what he could be. He could be a beacon of light.
Welcome back to the stream. It is week 2 at Limaland. The limited late models out on the track. Chris, the 358's put on a whale of a show, man. I hope we get more of the same.
I tell you what, I mean, the track seems to just do it naturally in these late models. A little bit more grip through the corners, a little bit more controllability perhaps, and I'm watching the drivers in practice right now. Quickest car on track at the moment is actually Jordan LaFon in the 11 car, and he's just running around that high line. And that seems to be the way to go. And yeah, again, just looking forward to some great racing tonight with all these great drivers.
Yeah, man, time to call the cars off the track. All drivers, clear the track, please. All drivers, clear the track, please. All right, drivers, welcome to week number 2 here at Limaland Limited Late Models. We'll go over the rules again real quick. No interview. You get an EOL the following night for the podium. No photo, same story. 2 cautions in any race, be it a heat or a feature, and you are done in that division for tonight. Any intentional contact will get you at least a 1-week vacation. No call-outs on Discord or otherwise. Please take the time to calm down before you send out a message that you may regret. I think that's all the updates. Don't forget about the World Finals coming up. You got to check that out, c2crl.com. Check out World Finals. We do get 3 provisionals for those of you that weren't in the earlier race. We're going to have the top points driver from the 358s, top from the limited late models, top from the sprint cars that do not race their way in will get an automatic invite to the big dance. So that's pretty exciting. The driver's fees do not cover the fees of that charity. So we're getting ready to get underway. We're going to advance to qualifying unless there are any questions. None heard? Good luck. All right, Chris, we're getting ready for some qualifying. I always say I'm going to hotkey the advance button, and I never do. We got a super small field tonight, so you might get full pay for half night. And full pay here is not very good. I'll tell you that.
Hey, we got some cars on track though. That's good. And I mean, I was watching, watching the guys in practice. It looked like that high line was the way to go. But of course, the water truck went out here between sessions. Got the track nice and tacky again. And let's see what the lines the drivers are going to run. Looks like the 515 is going to run the middle line, try to get a good run out of the corner. Of course, the key to speed in these cars is to not turn the wheel as little as possible, I guess. Try to get that straight drive off the corner. So you see the 515 there, just really trying to straight line it right off. A little bit of a slide there coming out of turn 2. Heading into 3 or 4, going to run the really low line second time around. That's going to be Chris Cox coming out of turn 4. Does he improve on the second lap? He looks like he does. He goes at 12.94.
That's your champion at the top of the board, Chris Cox. Now Cale Smith.
There you go.
We saw the 115 earlier. Again, the Navy guy out on the track, so I'd like to thank Kel for his service. Kurt Schatzer, my teammate, just rounding up 5th quick. Randy Shreves in the 56. out on track. Currently 6th quick with the 13:049. Let's see if he can do any better on his second lap. 5th quick.
13.029 for Randy there. Cale Smith, obviously the fastest in practice so far. Provisional pole. Travis Anderson in the 033 bumps up to P2 the exact same time, but then Michael Carter comes through in the 15 and just took the pole from both of them. What a great lap from Michael here. He runs a 13.82, almost a half a tenth there ahead of second place.
Man, the
Cale Smith.
CTM boys, 1, 2, 3 once again, man.
Tell you what, it doesn't get much tighter than that, Joe. You got second and third place at the exact same time, down to thousandths of a second. Would have been interesting to have them both start on the front row at the same time, but Michael Carter crashed the party here, got the pole from both of them. Won the 358 race about 30 minutes ago. He's good looking hot in the late model so far. And yeah, let's see what these guys can do here.
This is the last challenger, the 11 car, Jordan LaFawn, driver out of Indiana. If anybody can break up that party, it is the 11 car. So we'll see how Jordan does. Takes on the clock for his first lap.
Brings it right out to that wall in the back straightaway. Turns it into turn 3 there. Nice rotation. Try to straighten the car out. Get that speed, all the grip you can coming out of turn 4. First lap for Jordan.
Second quick.
Looks like it's going to put him P2 with an 8.45. Can he go faster second time around? Let's see. Turn 3, about the same line. Maybe got a little bit of push coming out of turn 4 right there. He's out of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
he shut it down early.
He did. He got P2 out of the deal at the 12.845. Jordan LaFawn, the 11 car, outside front row.
He broke up that party last feature in the gosh darn it, 358s.
There you go.
Heat 1 of the grid. Heat 1 of the grid, please. Michael Carter, Cale Smith on the front row. Chris Cox, Jeff Neron in row 2. Kurt Schatzer, Gavin Chatham in row number 3. All right, leader. 1.5 car length behind the pace truck. Everybody else, once you get the 1 to go, tighten it up. Half car length between yourself, the car in front of you. Start is on green. Do not jump the start. Do not pass before the start finish line. You got 8 laps to get it done. Everybody heading to the feature. Race hard, race clean. Good luck.
You know, Joe, with only 6 cars here, there's not really any room to hide here. Everybody's got a good shot here of getting the transfer to the top spots in the feature. So this is going to be some exciting racing. 8-lap feature race. It's going to go quick, just like we saw for the 358s. I'm excited to see how maybe Michael can hold these guys off, and it's going to be fun racing. This is great, dude.
Yeah, man, we saw the 15 and the 115 battle it out all last race. Here they are back together. You got your last season's champion in the 515 rolling off on the inside of row number 2. That is Chris Cox with the 27 car, Jeff Neron to his outside. It will be Michael Carter that brings us to the green flag. They're coming off of turn 4. We are green. 8 laps to get it done. Everybody heading to the feature, so these drivers are battling for their starting position on the feature grid. The 15 and the 115. Yeah, that was close.
That was really close. It's like Michael went down to the bottom to start the race here, and he washed up right in front of the 115 there. Everybody's kind of settling into the middle, maybe the low lane of the track. Chris Cox not wanting to stay P3 at all, sending it on the inside of Smith there. Not able to get the move done, but Kurt Schatzer there in the 18 as the 5th and 6th cars trade positions here. That's going to be, lost my feed for a second. It's going to be Chatham and Naren back there in the back working hard for that final P5 spot.
Top
front,
4 breaking away.
Yeah,
Chatham and Neron battling it out. You got Kurt Schatzer. That's my teammate out on the track, flying the dirt track bank colors. Currently in P4, Chris Cox, last year's champion, he is P3, but you're right. He's trying to dive in a little bit deeper than the 115. He's trying to get up beside Cale Smith, but man, I don't think he's going to get there. Those 2 cars up front, they are just super smooth.
Super smooth, super clean, and you know, one thing I don't hear talked about a whole lot is these guys are all running the exact same setup in the cars too, so there's not a lot of room for the cars to really differentiate themselves. It's all up to the drivers and how they put the commands through the pedals and the wheels as we start the final lap, and Michael Carter continues to be out front.
Michael Carter leading the way. He's got 2 more corners to navigate. That will give the 15 another feature win. Cale Smith closes in on the rear deck lid. Can't get it done. Carter, Smith, Cox, Schatzer are your top 4. Gavin Chatham and Jeff Neron round out your field of 6 drivers in heat number 1. Heat 2 to the grid. Heat 2 to the grid, please. Jordan LaFawn, Travis Anderson in front row. Jeff Kemper, Randy Shreves in row 2. Joseph Grandy rounds out your field of 5 drivers. All right, leader, welcome to heat number 2. You know the drill. 1.5 car length behind the pace truck, please. Everybody else, once you get the 1 to go, tighten it up. Half car length between yourself, the car in front of you. Start is on green. Do not jump the start. Do not pass before the start finish line. Got 8 laps to get it done. Everybody heading to the feature. Put on a great show. Good luck.
Yeah, Travis Anderson trying to have a little bit of a better run this time around. Obviously, he had an accident in the first lap of the feature race, the 358 race, about 30 minutes ago. He is starting, looks like P2 in this race. So let's see if Travis can kind of rebound and have a good second run here.
So the 11 car of LaFawn will take us to the green flag. He's got the 33 car. Those two tangled. That was that first caution in the 358s, Chris. So we'll see how this plays out. Green flag is out. We're underway. Jeff Kemper, the 181 driver out of Oregon. He's right behind the 11 car. Travis Anderson wasted no time. He went up high, it looked like, in turn 1 and 2. Let's see if he does it again. He stays in the middle.
The 181 of Kemper's trying to get up to the high lane there. He's got side-by-side in the back, the 55 and the 518 of Shreves and Grandy still running side-by-side. First two kind of checking out a little bit. We're still running the middle of the track, seeing the track kind of evolve, and that seems to be the right place to be here. But Anderson looks really racy on LaFawn here up for the lead.
Oh, he's pulling up. He ducked underneath. Looked like Anderson was thinking that LaFawn, he adjusted his line. He moved down a little bit there.
Yeah, he did. He's trying to cover off a little bit, but it looks like they've kind of settled into a groove here. Anderson not making a lot of time up here. He's actually got a little bit of run out of turn 2 right there, but he's going to stay checked in right behind LaFawn here as the 3 cars in the back are starting to kind of fall back a little bit more as we are working 3 laps to go here. Anderson is right on the bumper of LaFawn here, and he's sticking that nose in, especially through the middle of the corner, trying to get that drive off here.
Yeah, he snuck underneath a couple times there. I would expect the run on the bottom. He has tried it out a couple times, didn't make the pass. It looks like now he's going to dig that bottom side. No drive off of 4. Yeah, he lost all drive off that bottom side.
It's probably good intel for the feature.
2 more corners to navigate. The 11 car driver out of Indiana, he'll take home the victory. Anderson, Kemper, Shreves, and Joseph Grandy. Kemper, Shreves, and Grandy coming to us from the Coast to Coast Racing League. Like to thank those folks. 3 minutes of warm-up. We have 3 minutes of warm-up, and we will be right back.
Biggest thing is getting the word out, awareness of Mission 22, the struggle as it is to fight PTSD and suicide. My name's Corey Decker. I'm the state representative for Mission 22. This year's been great. We got a bunch of great guys that have gotten together and decided to create this rally. The word's getting out, and it's turned into quite an event where we can actually help a lot of veterans. It's a great event, but you really have to go and see it for yourself, and it's really one of those things that's an experience. Just going that weekend, we've seen how it changes people.
Welcome back. We're getting ready to go feature racing. Another 25-lap feature. Feature to the grid. Feature to the grid, please. Only 11 cars in the field tonight. Let's take a look at our starting lineup. Michael Carter, Jordan LaFawn on the front row. Cale Smith, Travis Anderson in row 2. Chris Cox, Jeff Kemper in 3. Kurt Schatzer, Randy Shreves in 4. Gavin Chatham, Joseph Grandy in 5. Jeff Neron rounds out your field of 11 drivers. All right, Chris, here we go. We got another one. 25 laps to get it done. Who you taking?
I tell you what, Cale Smith in the 115 has looked really strong in the qualifying and the heat races and practice. Even in the warm-up just then, I think he had the fastest lap by a good half-tenth. But of course, the track's ever changing. You got to be able to adapt in the car. I think anybody with a 15 on their car is going to do great here. Michael Carter up front in the 15, Cale Smith in the 115. And you also got Chris Cox in the 515. All three of those cars looking super strong. I'm going to keep an eye on Cale Smith throughout this race.
The 11 and the 15 have had epic battles at the end of last season and already this season. So I think that winner's going to come out of the front row. My runner-up, I cannot not select my teammate Kurt Schatzer in the 18, who will roll off P7 on the field. We got 25 laps to settle it, and it is Michael Carter that will begin on the pole. CTM car starting 1, 3, and 4. The only car that's not CTM in the front 2 rows is that 11 of Jordan LaFawn, driver out of Indiana.
Drivers making their way around on the back straightaway, getting in line. These cars are not easy to drive at slow speed, so it takes a little bit of finesse, but we're getting ready to go green here, Joe.
Michael Carter coming off of turn 4, heading towards the flag stand. Green flag is out. We are underway. 25-lap feature, week 2, Gears Unlimited Friday Night Lights. We're going to go 3 wide right off the bat. They settled that. I didn't think that would work, Chris, but they settled it. The 15 car of Carter is getting away from the field a little bit. Jordan LaFawn working that high side. He pulled right up to that rear deck lid. And the 115, now he's going to work the bottom side underneath the 11.
That's right. Travis Anderson at 33 kind of got squeezed right there on turn 1 in the first lap and had to back out of it coming out of turn 2. It looks like he maybe had a little bit of flashbacks to the 358 race, but he looks like he recovered back in P5. But he is losing more positions here as the looks like the 18 is trying to get on the low side here, trying to get under him. They go side by side through turn 2.
Man, they go right out to that wall, don't we? We're on board with Cale Smith, your third place driver, as they slide off. These heavier cars, I think they wear the track a lot quicker, as the mods did not wear the track this fast. You can see the entry into 1 and 2 is already slicked off. Not quite black yet, both ends actually.
Yeah, so you got the Cale Smith and the 115 trying to get under the 11 of LaFawn, but you got LaFawn as well, who had just had a big run on Michael Carter coming out of turn 2. Carter's running that high line. Now he switches to the middle in response to that. The top 3 cars all kind of run the same lane here, but I think Cale Smith's got a little bit of pace here on Jordan LaFawn for second place. It's just a matter of trying to set him up and get the pass done. No room to do it just yet. They're kind of running the middle of the track, just like you said, Joe. That slick getting into the corner is going to make it a little bit harder to get through as Michael Carter moves back up to the top lane here.
Looks like teammates may be talking. Both of those drivers went up higher. We're on the rear bumper of the 11 car. You see the 115 down low. He's searching.
Yeah, they're 3 wide now through turn 3 and 4. You got the 11 car is going to make a move for the lead. Little bit of contact right there, I think, but that pushed the 15 up out of turn 2. It's going to give LaFawn a huge run out of turn 2. Heading into turn 3, LaFawn on the inside is going to try the slide job up in front of the 15. Michael Carter can't quite close the door, but maybe through turn 1 and 2 and do it again. But 15's got a huge run coming out of turn 2 here. These two leaders side by side heading into turn 3.
The 515 is closing in. With these guys battling, you're bringing last year's champion into the picture. In the 515, you got the 15 up high, 11 running the middle, and the 115 running a little bit lower line. So we have 3 different lanes of racing on a quarter-mile dirt track. It does not get any better than this, ladies and gentlemen.
It does. And a little bit of contact there. Michael Carter just LaFawn kind of ran up into Carter a little bit. Now we definitely got a 3-wide race for the lead. Actually, 4 cars in the mix. Like you said, Chris Cox is now in it. And they go side by side. More contact again. 115 and 11 coming together. They're both trying to run the same spot on the track. You can't quite do that. It looks like the 11's going to settle in here around the outside. Look at the 115 of Cale Smith try to slide up. Michael Carter had a bad exit there out of turn 2. Might have got the wall a little bit. 3 wide through turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, this is amazing racing. The driver's doing a great job. Let's go up above and see what it looks like. You have 4 drivers under a blanket, the 15 running the top shelf, the 11 down low, the 115 running the bottom side, and the 515 kind of going wherever the quick line is. So amazing action at the front of the field by these 4 drivers. They are dueling it out.
Oh, there's the contact coming out. There he goes around. And they save it. Nope, they're still wrecking. And there he goes around. 11 goes around. They all kind of washed up out of turn 4 right there. Looks like Michael Carter was trying to stay on the high line, but then LaFond came up, and then it just pushed all the way around the turn 3. Nobody wanting to let up. Nobody wanting to give up that lead. Yellow flag is out.
Replays brought to you by the Dirt Track Bank. We will see LaFond coming off that. He is dead center of the slick, Chris. So I don't know if he could have held. Slide job hits the 15 in the side.
I think that was 2 wrecks right there, Joe. It looks like the 11 and the 15 came together, but then the 515 and the 115 came together all at the same time, but nobody wanted to lift through turns 2 right there. And unfortunately, through this whole thing, I think Jordan LaFond actually just went a lap down as a result of the spin. He didn't get the car right at the right time, so now I'm waiting for my timing to update here, but we'll see how that shakes out. I think he didn't get, unless it got righted out, so we'll see.
Those guys wrecked for the back stretch or the front stretch and 2 corners. That was a wreck that took the whole track to happen.
And Jordan LaFond just been disqualified. So Jordan's out of the race now. He's actually got the DQ from race control. I think we're going back to racing here, Joe. Everybody's running the high line out of turn 4.
Michael Carter off the high side. We are single file. Chris Cox somehow able to get in front of Cale Smith. So that battle is not going to go away. The 18 of Kurt Schatzer moves up into 4th.
Look at the 3 wide out of turn 4. You got Cale Smith trying to sling it under both these guys who are committed to the high line here. Just can't get the run off the corner. Chris Cox moved up to P2 through all this mess. Now he's going to try the slick under Michael Carter. Can he get the move done out of turn 4? No, not yet. Carter's going to hold that high line, get the momentum down the front straightaway through turns 1 and 2. This is great stuff.
If you look at those rear spoilers, the only one with a straight rear spoiler is that 515, and he's that will create some traction. Slide
Here
job coming, crossover from the 15. We are going to have another slide job crossover coming. These 2 battling it out up front, lap 23 of 25. That 515 wants the win. The champion from last year's trying to get it done. Kurt Schatzer, the 18. Yeah.
The 115's still in this too. He's in 3rd place trying to get under all, but as these 2 battle up front, the 115's washed right up. Look at the run that Chris Cox has on the outside here. Michael Carter is going to lead him as we start the final lap.
Michael Carter on that bottom side, he was forced down there, and it seems to agree with him. This is it. Coming off of turn 4, we're going to have a drag race to the finish line. The 15, the 515. Carter, Cox, Smith, your top 3. Man, you are good luck, my friend. Again, I got goosebumps. Top 3, start finish line, please. That was absolutely amazing.
Man, hey, listen, Joe, I don't want to toot my own horn here, but I said any car with the 15 would have a good job. Look who our podium is. It's the 15, the 515, and the 115. I'll take it where I can get it, brother.
Yeah, you got a few 15s up there. That was amazing. All right, drivers, go up for your interviews, please. So a couple of super races. We may not have big numbers tonight, but you know what? You and I kind of talked off air. I'll take good racing over big numbers any day of the week, and these guys tonight are putting on a whale of a show, man. This is fun. Thank you for joining me in the booth, Chris. This is a ton of fun.
Oh, this is great. Like you said, the racing's fantastic, and every incident we've seen tonight has not been because of poor driving. It has been because of hard driving and hard racing, which is what you definitely want to see here. So let's talk to some of these guys and see how the late models felt tonight.
Cale, this is Joe. You got me?
I got you.
Man, that was about as fun as it gets. Oh, Chris, wrong guy. Sorry, my fault. Let me pull it. Let me pull in Kale Smith. Let me pull in the right guy. Kale, this is Joe. You got me?
Yeah, Joe.
Man, that's about as fun as it gets. What a show you guys put on. Walk us through your night.
Man, it was pretty crazy. A lot of really good competition here. Man, Chris was really quick there, and to be honest, I was trying to keep it on the bottom, and I was waiting for it to go away and a different line to come in, and we were all, 3, 4 of us just there and just trying to make it work. But yeah, it was definitely fun.
Man, there was some beating and banging, and it was an absolute amazing show. So Chris Cox got by you there. You guys got banged up in that early rake. It looks like Chris and I were talking. You guys wrecked for a whole straightaway and into the corner. It took that long to happen. So your cars got a little bit banged up. That 515 was the straight fender car, so that might have gave him some downforce. Do you think you could have got by him if you got some more laps?
Yeah, I don't really know, to be honest. It seemed like, when Chris and Carter there are racing against each other, then I could gain some speed. But if I'd get up next to them, maybe it'd be a different story. Those guys are both really good, so you never know what could have happened. Of course, I think I should have got the win, but I was just happy to race those guys. It was a really fun race.
Man, that's about as fun as it gets, man. You guys put on a heck of a show. Who'd you like to thank for your podium?
Thanks, CTM Motorsports, my team, Michael Carter. Congrats on another win here. Travis Anderson, I think he ran pretty good tonight as well. He's just getting quicker and quicker. Sim Coach Pedals, A-Logs Projects, Redline Race Designs, Got Your Six Racing Network. Man, you guys do a good job. Gears Unlimited here. Thank all the veterans, military out there. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. We'll see you in the sprint cars or no?
I might. We'll see. I'm really bad at those. Maybe I'll give it a try. Get a better car count here. Try to keep up with Randy and those things. I know he's tough to beat. So.
Yeah, man. You make it to the Dash for Cash, you're gonna have to know how to drive a sprint car. Your teammate Michael Carter and Jordan LaFawn climbed into a sprint car during the Dash for Cash, and they held their own. So, man, a lot of fun. Congratulations. We will see you hopefully in the sprint cars. If not, have a great weekend.
Big thanks, Joe. You too.
All right, man.
All right, now we got Chris Cox in the booth finally at the right time here. Chris, hey, you started at P5, got up to P2. That race looked intense from start to finish. I guess first question, obviously the incident on lap 17 with the leaders there. As Joe was saying on the stream, looks like we actually wrecked for half a lap before it all got settled out. I went back and watched that from your cockpit view, and man, how did you make it through that wreck?
Well, when they got together at the flag stand, I was actually checking up for them because I figured it was going to happen because, well, just there's a certain car out there. It seems like he's always got to be hitting something. So
well,
yeah.
Well, hey, man, you made it through. You got up to P2. Great race with Michael there at the end. Just walk us through those last 5 or 6 laps when his racing was super intense from our view.
Well, I need going out of 3 and 4. There's that little middle groove, like I don't think anybody else was aware of until like the very last lap, and they made me aware of the very top. So I just ran that, trying to stay behind first and try to get that run out of 3 and 4 on that middle. But I guess it just wasn't enough. Like happy I got a third, but would have been more happy if I got it first.
Yeah, no, you got P2 is great, man. No matter how you slice, especially running up from P5. Yeah, great podium tonight. And anybody you want to thank?
I would like to thank the top 3, the 2 other dudes that finished by me. You guys for putting it on. I'd like to thank MJC Desktop Fabrications for being my one sponsor that's always loyal. The Ingram family, even though they're not here tonight, they're at the racetrack doing tow truck work. Yeah. And my fans that watch my stream.
Great stuff, man. Great finish. And are we going to see you in the sprint cars here in a little bit?
Yes, I will be.
Awesome. Looking forward to it, brother.
Yep.
Bringing in the winner, Michael Carter. He drives the 15 to the front, started on pole, kept it up front. He had a little bit of action there mid-race. Michael, walk us through your night.
Yeah, it's another good race there, man. We was all battling there for the lead, and I mean, Jordan got up into me, pushed a little bit there, and we got together. And I mean, I was lifted up in the air, man. I was trying to stay straight, and I get spun out, and we just all just kept bumping there. And I mean, unfortunately, he got spun around, and I mean, I don't know. It was a very bad racing deal. I'm not sure what really happened there, but like I said, on my end, I was just trying to, keep it going. And I don't know. I hate when stuff like that happens, because it causes hard feelings. And I don't know. Besides that, it was a good race. We was battling there. Chris ran me clean there at the end, and my teammate Kale. Congrats to them guys. And I just hate that happen.
Man, I got to tell you, that race was about as I thought nothing could top the 358s tonight. This race was about as good as it gets, man. You guys dueled it out. And so I put in the Michael Carter rule for this Dash for Cash. I kind of anticipated this coming, that we're going to fill that Dash for Cash with 24 cars, darn it, if we have to go recruit people. So those drivers out there, you are again qualified for the second time with a win, but the highest points cars left in the field that have not been that won a feature, we're going to put them in the Dash for Cash. So we're going to stack that field up, man, and we're looking for some of the same action that we saw tonight. Man, we were Chris and I were talking in the booth. You and Cale Smith, we were on board a couple times. Man, you guys are just super smooth, man. It is a pleasure to watch, and I greatly appreciate your team coming out and running with us, man.
We appreciate you having us, man. Like I said, we love running this league, and it's fun, and we enjoy it. And we always try to put on a show for you guys and try to race as clean as we can. I mean, like I said, that stuff that happened tonight, I'm not feeling the greatest about it, but I mean, unfortunately it happened, and I don't like being involved in controversy. I try to avoid all that. That's why my safety rating is a 4.99. I try to stay out of any way and try to get away from people, because I try to be the cleanest driver I can. But as far as the dirt track bank, that's awesome, man. Like, that's cool. You're putting other guys in there, and I think that'll make it interesting, because the track will be more slicker, and a lot of situations can happen there with more people in there. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We haven't picked the track yet, but man, you should have this down by now. Who do you want to thank for your drive to victory lane tonight?
Randy Carter Painting, CTM Motorsports, Cale Smith, Travis Anderson, Redline Race Designs, Friday Night Lights, GY6RN, Dirt Track Bank, your admins, Top Tier Race Control, of course you, Joe, everybody, all the fans that's watching. Thanks everybody, appreciate it.
Yeah, we're gonna see you in the sprint cars.
I might try to come out here and turn some laps, see what I can do. Not gonna promise you anything great.
All right, man, great run. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, my friend, and thank your team for me for coming out.
Absolutely, will do. Thank you, buddy.
All right, man. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There are the limited late models wrapped up, put on a heck of a show. Chris, you have any final thoughts?
I'll tell you what, the 358s were a good show, Joe, and like you said, the late models put on a better show. I'm looking forward to see what the sprint cars can do. Once again, it seems like Limaland just produces great racing all the way around with the grooves. Highline has speed through the corners and coming out. The low lane, the low line also seems to have the grip throughout the race. And yeah, this has been a fantastic night so far. Can't wait to see the sprint cars and what they can do.
Yeah, man. Speaking of sprint cars, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we will be right back here at Limaland with the fixed 305 sprint cars. Hope you stick with us. We'll be right back.
My name's Nick Powers, and I'm the president and lead instructor of Warfighter Scuba. I'm a veteran of the United States Marine Corps from the years 2003 to 2007, with one combat deployment to Haditha, Iraq in 2006. Throughout my time overseas, I experienced a lot of situations that you wouldn't necessarily find yourself in the United States. IEDs, getting shot at, rocket attacks, mortar attacks, you name it, it happened. When I got out of the Marine Corps in 2007, I tried to adjust back to civilian life, and the whole time you're in, you just can't wait to get out. And when you get out, you start to realize did you make the right decision? 9 times out of 10, most of the guys that get out, they immediately plummet into a depression cycle because you don't have that structure anymore that the military provides you. And this hit me super hard. We moved to one of the #1 top dive destinations in the entire world, and I figured I'd start getting back into scuba diving. And after the first couple dives, I realized how peaceful it was underwater and how none of my problems followed me. You're just there in the present moment. I had the idea for Warfighter Scuba, and I kind of hinted at it, and they said, "You go for it." And that's basically how Warfighter Scuba was born. So Warfighter Scuba is a nonprofit. We're a 501c3 nonprofit with the IRS. We bring combat wounded veterans down to the Caribbean to teach them scuba diving to treat their wounds. Whether their wounds are physical or mental, such as PTSD, scuba diving is a extremely therapeutic activity for mental stressors and for physical ailments. Mentally, as soon as you go underwater, your body just reacts. It's not normal. You're not meant to breathe underwater. Automatically puts you into the present moment. You have nothing but peace and calm. This ability to separate yourself from reality really allows veterans to find out what their trigger mechanism might be for their particular mental stressors. So every veteran who comes through our programs gets a 100% funded trip. Each veteran also receives a round-trip ticket from their home of record. That ticket will bring them straight into Roatan, and their entire week stay, their hotel, their meals, their snacks, everything's paid for. So that veteran can get an entire week away from reality and completely separate from any kind of problems they might be facing at home. So each veteran receives very private and intimate training sessions when they come down to Roatan. We first start in the pool. We do some confined water skills. We'll then switch out to the open water dives. From that point on, it's not even training anymore. It's just fun. It's learning on a level that I don't think most people have experienced before. We do all the certifications for them that we can in a week at their pace, from open water to full face mask to nitrox. Every trip that we have, whether it's one veteran or 4 veterans at a time, we just have a blast. There's no bad karma. We've seen sharks, we've seen turtles. We've seen 4 eagle rays at once. Just the things that happen when we're in the water together are truly, they're just unbelievable. The dedication that these vets have now to scuba diving and to wanting to come back and to help other veterans experience what they've experienced. It hits me in the heart more than most things have ever hit me in my heart. It's truly an honor to take these heroes into the water. It's really cool to see the transformation that happens to them, from being, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. I've gone snorkeling a few times, or I'm not that good of a swimmer. And the funny thing about scuba is none of that matters. You're completely weightless in the water. You could come down and have 0 experience in the water and be one of the better scuba divers out there. So as with all nonprofits, we rely solely on generous donors such as yourselves. None of these programs could exist without people who are willing to give some of their hard-earned money up to save veterans who might be struggling with everyday life and have that unfortunate thought of suicide. 100% of every dollar that's donated goes directly to the veterans. I personally, myself, I do not take any kind of money. All my time is donated. There's no salary to anybody who's on the board or any staff positions in Warfighter. Donations can be made on our website at www.warfighterscuba.org. And remember, every donation is 100% tax deductible.
Yes, that's why. So we'll just give them a quick brush, and then we'll get our stuff on, and then we have like an obstacle course. And so
I'm smiling.
you don't know why you're smiling. We always smile. Smiling's the best.
The Mission 22 Equine Program is a riding program for children of veterans. We also serve grandchildren or direct family members of veterans.
It's a lot of fun, and I've always loved horses.
We have private lessons and group lessons, but it's not just riding. You know, riding lessons, people just think that that's all it is. But we have the opportunity here to really build confidence, to lower stress levels, to give them an outlet and opportunity to spend time doing something healthy and productive. Mission 22 is really based on the foundation of the importance for family. It's why we're supporting families here. So in a time where kids' programs are being canceled left and right, school is shut down, they're not able to be around their friends, you know, being able to have an opportunity where they can just be together and let go of that stress and be around people. Again, honestly, it's just really that simple, being around people. You know, who would have thought that it was something as simple as that?
That's okay. You want to grab his reins, and then I'll have you walk him forward. It's really a special thing to watch these kids come every week and build a partnership and a relationship with their horse. It lets them forget about everything that's going on in life, being able to come here, kind of shut the world out a little bit, and have a really stress-free, fun environment.
There's tons of studies that have been done on lowering of cortisol levels of children, and especially with children of veterans, often growing up in a household that can be a more stressful place, to be able to have an outlet where they can be outside, fresh air, horses around them, and just growing in that confidence.
Horses are really unique. They're very intuitive to people. They're very emotionally intelligent. They're very emotional animals, very in tune to people. They have a great way of reading people as well, that they can pick up on if you're feeling nervous or scared or excited. They're very reflective to how you feel. And so it's a great way to kind of check in with yourself and see how you're feeling, because they'll let you know.
When you're riding bareback, it's really important to think about keeping your thighs nice and snug.
Watch your spacing. Remember 1 to 2 horse lengths in between. Nice work. Yep, then you're going to go through the blue barrels, and you can weave through them, and you can walk through them.
Before we came to Central Oregon, we were based out of Portland. So we were renting an office in the city, we were having to pay to board horses, and it was getting to be exceptionally expensive. And so what it came down to was an opportunity to have a facility that we can grow programs out, that we could have the equine program on our own property, that we can continue to operate during a time that nobody really knew kind of what was happening next. And so having our own facility gave us the freedom to continue serving the families that we care about.
It's so fun to see parents come and talk to each other, and being able to kind of share stories, watch their kids together is a really neat thing. Talk about just life in general, having a place to come and to really connect with people. Obstacles.
I really like riding the horse because it's the best thing ever, and it's so exciting.
By supporting families of veterans on this property through the equine program, it really gives us the opportunity to show that importance. So we're not just supporting their kids, but we're supporting their families. They're having a community here, and building that strong family foundation builds a strong veteran. And that is something that we very much believe in, is supporting the family, supporting the veteran, and that cohesiveness together.
Mission 22 was founded on the timeless principle that America's warriors are equally valuable overseas as they are within our borders. We are unwaveringly committed to the journey back home and understand the barriers our heroes face when making the often arduous and taken for granted transition home. Trauma is an opportunity. While bleeding, hidden pains of the past can never be removed. We can transform them into something brand new and beautiful. We can grow through trauma to become our community's cornerstone, the safest neighbor on the block, the strongest leader in the office, the most caring volunteer at the elementary school. The Recovery and Resiliency Program is a year-long, and it uses everything from cutting-edge biometric tools to science-backed supplements. This is a catalyst to take the deep scars suffered for our nation's sake and turn them into opportunities to direct our God-given purpose and energies as protectors toward a refreshed and meaningful life. By committing to this year-long program, you will be happier, stronger, and wiser. Your PTS and/or TBI may not leave you, but you will be more comfortable in your own skin, and your suffering will begin to have meaning. Our goal is to give warriors one thing, the truth. Let's take responsibility for our healing.
When people hear a Till Valhalla project, the first thing they might think of is our shirts. But what most people don't know is that our plaques came first and the t-shirts came second. What some people might not know is that the same shirts that we make day in and day out allowed us to do unbelievable things for unbelievable people. Whether it's donating our proceeds to reduce veteran suicide or gifting handcrafted memorial plaques to the families of fallen heroes, these t-shirts simply stand for honor and freedom, two words that wouldn't exist without our heroes. This makes Till Valhalla Project a place our fallen heroes truly live on forever.
Welcome back to the show. It is nightcap time. So, Chris, you've come on the show tonight. Give us your impression of what's going on out here.
Man, I tell you what, Joe, I'm sweating a whole lot less here with you watching and calling the action than I am usually driving these cars, trying to keep up with these boys. These guys are putting on a heck of a show. Sprint cars, obviously the fastest ones with the downforce on the wing, and we've got 12 cars on the grid right now. Looks like the high line may be the quickest way around the track. I mean, I'm sure your viewers and people watching this are dirt track veterans, and I'm probably saying stuff that's like, who is this newbie? What are they talking about? I'm learning and watching at the same time, having a great thing, so I'm probably going to say stuff like that. But yeah, the track's already starting to, you're seeing the middle lane already kind of slicking up after about 30 laps of practice here, I think. So we're going to see what these do. I kind of wish these races were longer, to be honest with you. 25 laps just goes by so fast, and there's so much racing going on. It's been a treat. Thanks for having me on, Joe.
Yeah, man, a lot of fun. Sprint cars are going to get an extra 5 laps, so we do run 30 laps in the sprint cars coming up next season, man, and I'm really excited about this. We're going to test it out 3 times this season. We're going to have the Dirt Track Bank Premier Dirt E Series. It's going to be open setup, 358 and big block mod. The driver gets to choose which one they drive, and open setup Pro and Super late model. So we're going to test it out 3 times this season and hope to go full open next season with the Dirt Track Bank Premier Dirt E Series. So that'll be an addition to Friday Night Lights. The goal there is to get the best of the best. We're not sure how we're going to do that yet. You got to be top in the points, or we're still figuring that part out. But, man, we are looking forward to that to highlight our biggest sponsor, the Dirt Track Bank, give them their own series. So that's coming up. We're going to test it 3 times this season. It will be a show next season. So let's call the cars off the track and get the show on the road. All drivers clear the track. All drivers clear the track, please. All right, drivers, welcome to week number 2. Gears Unlimited Friday Night Lights. This race brought to you by Raven Graphics. Go over the rules real quick. No interview EOL, no photo EOL. Those are after a podium finish. 2 cautions, you're DQ'd for that division for that night. Intentional contact will not be tolerated at any time. Intentional contact will get you a vacation. Call-outs on Discord, messages, or any other type of call-out will also not be tolerated. You will receive a vacation if we hear about it. Excessive blinking, first time you'll get a warning, second time EOL, third time you'll be asked to park it for the night if your car continues to blink. That is all the updates that I have. Welcome to week number 2. Don't forget, we have quite a few positions left open for the week 13 Dash for Cash. So to qualify for that event, you must be a feature winner. You must race in at least 6 weeks of this season. And it will pay to be high in the points. Last season's we only had 12 cars who qualified. We are going to fill that field to 24. So if you're one of the top points drivers, you may get an invite to that $500 Dash for Cash. Don't forget the Dirt Track Bank World Finals coming up. That's a $1,500 payout. It is a different event than Friday Night Lights, so there is an additional fee to get into that. If you want any additional information, please check out www.c2crl.com. Look up World Finals, and that's where you can pay. It's going to be a heck of a show. 3 provisional starts for Friday Night Lights. So if you are the points leader in the 305 sprint cars the night before that event starts, we will get a provisional for each one of our divisions. You will go to the big show automatically. So pretty cool stuff. You do have to pay for that separate from your driver's fees. And again, you can do that at c2crl.com. So we're getting ready to go to qualifying. Any last questions, comments, or concerns? None heard. Tonight has been an amazing night. Big shout out to all the drivers out there. It's been, it's been nothing. It's just been amazing. So we will advance to qualifying. I wish you all the best of luck. And yeah, we'll advance. So, Chris, I have you at a disadvantage on this one. I am going to go ahead and pick my driver first.
Go for it.
Now, I'm going to take right out of the box, haven't even looked yet, I'm going to take my good friend Randy Shreves in that 56 car. I've known Randy for quite a while. He was last season's champion in sprint cars. He can get a sprint car around the track in a big hurry. So that is going to be my pick tonight. Right out of the gate, we do have cars coming out on the track. The 88 car of Dan McLaren, he just joined us probably about 15 minutes ago. During the break, I was able to get him into the 305 sprint cars. He comes to us by way of Coast to Coast Racing League. He is a member of the Spartan Racing Crew, a driver out of Canada. Mr. Dan McLaren in that 88 machine.
Dan McLaren paying his money, bringing the car on track and getting it done right out of the gate. Let's see what kind of times he can do. He's right now provisional pole with a 12:036, but Joseph Grandy's just taken the track as well. Joseph can't respond. He's going to do P3 with a 12.1. Gavin Chatham taking a 12.01 provisional pole right now in the 24 car. I'm kind of, going to take the advantage while I can, Joe. My pick tonight, I had Joseph Grandy for qualifying, but man, starting P5, you got to get through the heats to get to the show, obviously, which he will with the number of cars that we have. But I'm gonna go and solidify. I'm gonna go back to actually, you know what? I'm gonna go back to what I picked in the late model race. I'm gonna go back to Chris Cox in the 515. I think he's gonna do it. I think he's got a good spot. Obviously, quick in all 3 divisions so far, and let's see what we can do. Randy Shreves, by the way, while I was running my mouth there, just went into the 11-second mark and took P1 for the entire field. Great lap from Randy right there.
Yeah, man, I'm going to tell you, Chris Cox is not a bad pick. So he has won the limited late model division twice. He won the 358 and limited late model last season, and he told me he's going to win all 3. So that might not be a bad pick, that 515. Chris Cox, a driver out of Des Moines, Iowa. He's been getting it done.
Absolutely. Randy Shreves, though, getting it done right now. Again, that 56 car, the only car with the 11-second mark here at Limaland. And one last car on the track. Looks like it's going to be the Jordan LaFawn, the 11 car. Can he improve on his second lap? Comes out of turn 4, runs it really high up against the wall. Doesn't look like he improved. He's going to settle down for P9 for Jordan LaFawn.
So crazy story about the 11. During the Dash for Cash of week 13, Jordan LaFawn did not own the sprint car at all. And when the limited late model race ended, he went out and bought a sprint car, and he did pretty well in that race. He ended up finishing second with $125. I can't remember what the payout was, but just bought sprint cars that night so that he could run in that third division, and it paid off for him.
Man, if you're good, you're good, right? It doesn't matter what you're driving. If you got speed, you can do it.
Heat 1 to the grid. Heat 1 to the grid, please. Randy Shreves, Dan McLaren on the front row. Joseph Grandy, Jason Hines in row number 2. Jordan LaFawn, Travis Anderson round out your field of 6 drivers. All right, leader, you know the drill. 1.5 car length behind the pace truck. Everyone else, once you get the 1 to go, going to ask you to tighten it up. Half car length between yourself, the car in front of you. The start is on green. Do not jump the start. Do not pass before the start finish line. Everyone heading to the feature. Race hard, race clean. 8 laps to get it done. Good luck. So Randy Shreves starting on that inside. That 66 car of Jason Hines, driver out of Canada. He is pretty quick too, so I wouldn't count. This is a pretty stacked field.
Yes, it is. It's stacked field indeed. We got 7 cars out there, I think, unless I didn't count correctly. No, 6 cars. You're right. So 6 cars on the block here. 4, advance right to the feature with their qualifying spot where they finish. Yeah, this is going to be good. You got the 56 on the inside there, and I can't wait, dude. I'm excited.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. Randy Shreves will take us to the green flag. Your top 3 cars coming to us by way of Coast to Coast Racing League. We will talk more about Coast to Coast Racing League as the pace truck is getting ready to pull off here. Randy Shreves will come off of turn number 4 with Dan McLaren, the Spartan Racing driver, to his outside. They are looking for that green flag. There it is. We are underway. 8 laps to get it done. 305 sprint cars. Randy Shreves will slide up and get on that outside. No, he won't. The 88 car, he's able to get a good run off the top. He holds the 56 down low. I'm telling you, the 88 is going to be a tough customer, and Shreves, those two are going to battle it out.
Yeah, 88 not wanting to let up there at all, and then McLaren's going to hold the high line. Shreves trying to slide up in front of him, not getting the move done. 88 saying, "No, sir, I'll stay right here. You got to get around me a different way." Now Dan McLaren clearly gets out in the lead. Shreves is going to fall in behind. Third place, Jason Haynes is right on the rear bumper of Shreves here, trying to make a move around the outside. Looks like that high line might be the way to go. Shreves kind of checked up there in front of Hayes a little bit, had to get him out of the throttle a little bit. As we worked lap number 5, starting lap 5 now.
Yeah, so great battle up front. Dan McLaren and Randy Shreves. Those two have raced together for quite some time in the Coast to Coast Racing League, so they know each other very well. Jason Haynes in the 66, the driver out of Canada. He moves up 1. Joseph Grandy, also from the C2C stables. The 518 car, he's fallen back 1. Everybody in line on that high side. Once that high side wears off, that's when we've seen time and time again that bottom side will come in. Up front, Dan McLaren getting it done. 1 lap to go. Shreves, he's looking down low. Can't make the move. It will be McLaren into 3 and 4. Now Jason Hines is going to dive down low. Coming to the line. Oh, Shreves, Hines are 2 and 3. I thought the 66 had him, Chris.
I thought he had him too. How did Shreves hold off Hines right there? He was looking racy those last 3 laps for sure. What a race.
Heat 2 to the grid. Heat 2 to the grid, please. Gavin Chatham on the front row with Chris Cox. Jeff Kemper on the inside of row number 2 with Michael Carter to his outside. Cale Smith and David Tormachi, the driver out of Montana, will finish in the third and final row. All right, drivers, welcome to heat number 2. Leader, 1.5 car length behind the pace truck, please. Everybody else, once you get the 1 to go, going to ask you to tighten it up. Half car length between yourself, the car in front of you. Start is on green. Do not jump the start. Do not pass before the start finish line. You got 8 laps to get it done. Been a heck of a show so far tonight. Race hard, race clean. Good luck.
You know, Joe, Jason Haynes showed us something right there. He showed us the slide job may actually work here in the track in this condition. He went on that low lane the last lap right there, and he was neck and neck going across the line. So maybe another one of those going into turn 1, he would have had the position. So high line looks strong, but that middle lane right now looks very strong as well for the possible overtake.
Yeah, man, he made it work. That was as close as it gets. I missed the camera shot, but that may be our move of the week. We'll have to see how that plays out. That comes out every Thursday. Meanwhile, Gavin Chatham will bring us to the green flag with Chris Cox to his outside. Green flag is out. We are underway. Good start on the high side by the 515. Jeff Kemper is no stranger to sprint cars. 181 and myself battled it out right here at Limaland, an earlier race earlier this week. Driver out of Oregon up front, Gavin Chatham is setting sail. Chris Cox in P2, Jeff Kemper in 3. Now the 115 of Cale Smith. He's going to go down low.
Looks like Cale's been running that low lane since the bottom, but now Michael Carter's going to try to go below him. Carter actually got the wall coming out of turn 2 on the first lap, and it kind of backed him up a little bit here. But these two are battling for P4, excuse me. And looks like Carter's going to try to hold the inside lane here. But that high line's got so much momentum coming out of the corners that Cale Smith's not giving up that easily. Meanwhile, up front, Gavin Chatham is just checking out almost half a second already over second place Chris Cox.
And we're working lap 5 of 8, coming to 6. I was going to say the 115 and the 15. We've seen that song and dance all night. This time they just happen to be battling for 4th and 5th instead of the lead. Working lap 6 of 8, Gavin Chatham getting it done. Chris Cox in P2. Those two are pulling away from Kemper a little bit. But Cale Smith, these two teammates cannot get away from each other, and they put on a whale of a show.
Almost came together there coming out of turn 2. Michael Carter's trying to do the slide job on Cale Smith here, running side by side with about on the final lap here. He's not going to slide up in front of him. He's going to hold it for now.
Those two will tell you they're not sprint car drivers, but it's Gavin Chatham who brings it home. Chris Cox P2, Kemper, Smith, Carter, and Tormachi round out your field of 6 drivers. We will have 3 minutes of warm-up. 3 minutes of warm-up. We will be right back.
Our biggest thing is getting the word out, awareness of Mission 22, the struggle as it is to fight PTSD and suicide. My name's Corey Decker. I'm the state representative for Mission 22. This year's been great. We got a bunch of great guys that have gotten together and decided to create this rally. The word's getting out, and it's turned into quite an event where we can actually help a lot of veterans. It's a great event, but you really have to go and see it for yourself, and it's really one of those things that's an experience. Just going that weekend, we've seen how it changes people.
Welcome back. It is feature time. Tonight we got 30 laps of 305 sprint cars on the schedule coming up. Feature to the grid, please. Dan McLaren, Gavin Chatham on the front row. Shreves Cox in row number 2. Haynes and Kemper in 3. Grandy and Smith in row number 4. Anderson Carter in 5. Jordan LaFawn and David Tormachi will round out your field of 12 drivers. All right, drivers, welcome to the feature. The start is not unlike your heat races. Leader going to ask you to stay 1.5 car length behind the pace truck. Everybody else, once you get the one to go, tighten it up. Half car length between yourself, the car in front of you. The initial start is on green. Do not jump the start. Do not pass before the start finish line. You guys got 30 laps to get it done. Put on a great show. Race hard, race clean. Good luck. Dan McLaren looked strong in that 88, man, but so did Gavin Chatham, so I'm not sure which way to go, but I'm going to still watch that 56 coming out of the inside of row number 2.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to start on the outside or the inside here, to be honest, Joe. I think the outside's probably got the, going to have more speed coming out of turn 2, so maybe it's a good place to be, but we've seen a couple accidents tonight with cars on the outside just running out of room as they get squeezed up from the cars, on the inside coming up to the wall right there. So it may be faster, but it's also a little more dangerous. So a little bit of risk reward here.
Yeah, and it's starting to get slick. You can see that entrance shining there a little bit, but it'll be Dan McLaren in that 88 machine that will come off a turn 4 looking for the green flag. Green flag is out. We are underway. McLaren down low. I'm thinking we'll see a slide job, and we do. Gets to that outside in front of the 24. Chatham's going to try to return the favor.
Yeah,
doesn't
McLaren got
have
the wall.
room, holds it down.
Yeah, they're running out of room. McLaren got the wall. Oh, we got a car around, and they got an accident in turn 2 right there. I don't know if a yellow is going to come out or not, but McLaren got the wall a little bit right there coming out of turn 2, and it killed his momentum, but he got back in the lead here.
I think that was actually the 24 car of Chatham that went around. So he's the first one to try down low. He must have got in that slick there and went around in that 24 machine. Jeff Kemper
is now running dead last. He's have a huge recovery drive here after that mishap. Yeah, it's not the start he wanted. As actually 2 more cars come together here for second place. Shreves and Cox just came together going into turn 1 right there. That sent Chris Cox down on the inside. Shreves kept the momentum around the outside. Now Chris is stuck on that bottom lane, get passed by 2 cars here. Try not to lose and fall back into 5th. He may lose another one as Michael Carter's got the run on the outside here. That high line showing the speed for sure as Chris Cox is just falling down the order here. Now he got the next car as he slides up here. He gets back in line. But that just goes to show you in 2 laps, he lost 3 places right there. It's not what you want to see.
Yeah, that middle is definitely not the place to run. Typically here, it is bottom or top. Early is top dominant as we are seeing the 88 car. He opens up over a half-second gap over Randy Shreves in P2, followed by Hines, Kemper, and Carter, your top 5. After Carter telling us he's not a sprint car guy, he has driven the 15 up to P5, up 5 spots from the start. He does have Chris Cox behind him, as you mentioned, Chris. Chris Cox got caught down low, and it was a train on the top side that went by him. Joseph Grandy, I'm surprised not. Oh, we got contact.
Chris
the
Cox is in the wall.
515.
Chris Cox got the wall there going into turn 3. He got right up against the wall and went a little too high and ended up running against the wall the entire way through 3 and 4. By the time he got to the front straightaway, he was turning, and that both these guys were running really hard. I saw Michael Carter right ahead of him get the wall a couple laps earlier, so they were both running really hard. I thought maybe Carter may have actually damaged the suspension a little bit, but you see Chris here just running right up against that wall, and he got just enough of it where it actually rotated the car back to the wall, and then he just started hopping around and lost control, and that's all she wrote for Chris Cox.
It looked like Carter got loose up in front of him, and if we go back and look at that, look at the state of the high side here. It is almost burnt off clear to the wall if you see coming in. So you got a little bit of slick there going in, but once you get mid-corner, watch the shine come. That is where you're going to get super loose. Turn 4 is a treacherous exit, and it captured our first caution of the night.
Yeah, unfortunately, Joseph Grandy caught up in that as well as Chris was bouncing off the front straightaway wall. Looks like Joseph kept his spot in P6. Chris Cox down at P7. Quick shout out as well to Gavin Chatham down in P10, working his recovery drive.
Green flag is back out. We are underway. 88 car on the point with the 56 and the 66 in tow. I will tell you, about this time of night is when I start thinking about moving that wing back and getting on that bottom side and see if I can't make something happen. But these guys, if you can run the high side slick or not, you got two of the best doing it with McLaren and Shreves. I'm not that guy, Chris. I'm down low right now. You'll see me on the bottom every time.
I'm watching Jason Hayes and Kemper. Look at Jason Hayes get the big run.
Slide job.
He both of our leaders.
He got two of them. The driver out of Canada took over the lead momentarily. Now Shreves and McLaren moved down low. Haynes is having a heck of a run. I think Shreves and McLaren saw that, because guess where they're running now?
Yeah, you called it, Joe, right away. There were two cars starting to move down. As soon as that happened, I missed the incident. Maybe the leaders got the wall a little bit coming out of turn 2, but they both checked up hard. That allowed Haynes to get the huge run there. But now you got Randy Shreves out in the lead, Jason Hayes second, Dan McLaren in third. Yellow flag on the track.
I have nothing showing up on SDK, so that must have been an admin caution. We'll have to see what that caution came out for. Here in the 24, got an EOL.
Chatham worked his way up to second. He worked his way up to sixth place on that recovery drive halfway through the field, and that's just going to take him back to the back. Let me see if I can find what happened here.
I don't know if we will have time to find it, but we'll give it a go here. There's the 24 underneath Grandy and Jordan LaFawn. 24 gets in the slick, slides up to the outside. No contact there. Here it comes. 2-4 slides up in front of Jordan LaFawn. The 24 gets an EOL, so maybe he can come back to the front once again.
Yeah, we're just over halfway. Still got plenty of time to get it done. Working lap 17 as we get ready to start on the restart. It's Randy Shreves out front, Jason Hayes in second, Dan McLaren in third.
We're off. Randy Shreves now with the lead. He's working that middle. He's working a cut down line, entering high, trying to get a good run off that bottom side, as Jason Hines did that very thing to pass the two of them. Shreves has found something. He's starting to pull away.
Yeah, Dan McLaren staying straight up on the high lane here. I've yet to see him move down, except for a few laps earlier when everybody was shuffling around. He is committed to that high line, but he is struggling up there. You can see the car twitching all over the place. Meanwhile, Jason Hayes is kind of running that middle lane right below the slick right there. But you're right, out front, our leader, Randy Shreves, pulling up a second gap already. He's running right in the middle of the track and almost kind of angling it down to get a straight line off the corner. He's pulling away from these guys.
Kind of diamonding the corner. The 66 car of Haynes was running a slider line, and now it seems like he's just running straight middle. Now he's going to try that same line. So Haynes is following Shreves. It is monkey see, monkey do. Shreves getting a good run to 66 now, running that same exact line.
Yeah, Dan McLaren starting to move down as well. The Jeffrey Kemper and the 181 moving down with him. As soon as I say that, they both go back to the top lane again. So maybe 1 and 2 is a little better in the middle and lower, and 3 and 4 still good on the high side. Nope, take it back again. They're going to stay on the high side again. So drivers working their way around this track, trying to find where the grip is, as the slick seems to be showing up in multiple grooves now. Back out front, our leader, Randy Shreves, still kind of diamonding that corner, but you're starting to see some of the slick show up on that lane now as well. We've got about 6 laps to go in the feature here, Joe.
Yeah, Shreves at the point. Dan McLaren now, Jeff Kemper, he's going to start searching around. So, man, this is late race stuff is super exciting in dirt when you start searching around for that lane. You got to find some place with traction, and you never know where you're going to find it. So you'll see cars in the back starting to search around. Randy Shreves is running right through the slick and making it work. He's no longer cutting down. He's making that car work in the slick. Jason Hines in the 66. He's running a little bit higher, right at the edge of the marbles. And McLaren, as you said, is sticking to that high side. Jeff Kemper now running the middle. He's trying to get a run.
Yeah, we might have a race here for P3 to get that final podium spot. McLaren got a big wiggle coming out of turn 4. Might have got the wall there as we start the final lap.
This went by in a big hurry. Shreves on the point by over a second, almost 2. Shreves, Hines, McLaren, your top 3. Top 3 start-finish line, please. Top 3 start-finish line. Man, that went by in a big hurry. I felt like the feature just started. What a great job by the drivers. What excitement tonight was, man. That was fun.
Absolutely. Drivers searching for grip all over the track, trying to get it done. Big shout out to Randy Shreves right there, finding the grip, pulling out the gap. I think he was up to about almost 1.5 seconds by the end of the race. And even Dan McLaren kind of hopping in last minute here, snagging P3 from Kemper there, just sticking to the high line pretty much the whole race. Fantastic show once again.
All right, drivers, don't forget to go up for interviews. Yeah, we will get a word with your top 3 here momentarily. What a great night, man. You picked the right night to come on board for sure. Trying to get our replay going here.
Yeah, this was a great event, Joe. Once again, thanks for the invite. Looking forward to talking to the drivers here. Kind of wishing I was out there driving a little bit at the same time, but like we said, it's sometimes it's easier to. I'm a lot less adrenaline running sitting right here than I am in those cars right now for sure. This has been great though.
We got all drivers in the booth. We will grab a hold of the brand new to the show, the 88 of Dan McLaren. Dan, great show, man. You've been in here. You've raced with us before, but you just got back into the league, man. You came out in that Spartan ride and put it on the podium. Walk us through your night.
Yeah, good to be back. Glad you got me in time. It was a nail biter, but no, that was a lot of fun. Congrats to Randy on the win and Jason on second. But yeah, I didn't have anything for him. The top was good for the first 10 or 11 laps, and then just couldn't figure out the bottom. And Jason and Randy got by me, and that was it.
Yeah, you guys were running the high side. You and Randy were battling it out. Did it surprise you when the 66 dove down low? He almost got by both of you, but that was the starting point of everyone else going down low. Did that move surprise you? Were you 100% committed to the top side, or did you ever think about running that same low line?
Game plan was to stick to the top, but I have no problem going down to the bottom. I like being a little bottom feeder. It's a lot of fun, but no, I didn't. It didn't surprise me. It's one of these tracks to pass. You're gonna have to do that shoot down to the bottom just to get around someone. But no, the game plan was to stick to the top, and if it worked, it worked. If it didn't, so be it.
Yeah, man. Welcome back to the show. I love seeing the Spartan rides out. Yeah, it's always a pleasure, man. Who do you want to thank for your podium?
First off, all the guys at Spartan Racing, VMR Wraps, WeldStar Custom Fabrications, Coast to Coast Racing League, Friday Night Lights, and for you guys putting on this awesome broadcast.
Yeah, man, that's the 88 of Dan McLaren. Hopefully we see you next week, my brother. Until then, I wish you an awesome weekend. And again, man, thank you for coming out.
Cheers, man.
Yeah, man.
All right, let's bring in our second place driver who started P5, got his way up all the way up to P2. Jason Hayes almost got the lead there midway through the race with that huge run off the bottom out of turn 2. Had a good race there for a couple laps. Eventually settled into second place. Jason, how'd your race go tonight from your side?
It was good. I kept the wheels on it. Last week was miserable, but we came through, and I think I only got 2 incident points this time, so that's good. Made my way through the field, so that's good too, and just a solid points night. That's what I needed.
Absolutely. That's a great way to do it. Second place is good no matter how you slice it, man. We were watching that battle you had with Dan and Randy there, and there was a moment, I think, maybe Dan got the wall a little bit out of turn 2, and that checked up Randy behind. You were just in the right spot to sling it down in the turn 3 right there, and couldn't quite hold it all the way around from Randy, who fought you back. But walk us through that moment right there when you almost had the lead and just fighting hard there for a couple laps.
Yeah, I feel like I should have stayed down low. It surprised myself even how sticky it was down there, and I went right back up to the top, and they snuck by me on the bottom. I think I showed him that line, and he never left that line from that moment on the rest of the race. So should have stayed low, but that's kind of a little learning curve, and we'll move on and try and get him next time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Congrats on the P2. Anybody you want to thank for the podium?
I got to thank Coulter to Redline Race Designs, all the guys at Miller Time Motorsports, my boss, Valentire. He gives me a lot of time off to do this sim rig stuff. So, yeah. And Joe, this is an awesome league. I've had a lot of fun doing this, and it's just getting better and better.
Matt, wait a minute. We got to rewind here
All right,
for
man.
1
Congrats,
second.
and we'll see you next week. All right.
Have a great weekend.
Hold on a second here. We got to rewind for 1 second. Did you say your boss gives you time to do this?
I heard that too.
Yeah, he gives me a little bit of extra time off on Fridays and Saturdays to do a couple league things. I have another cash league that I run in and stuff.
So where do we send resumes?
Exactly.
Well, this is all supposed to be hopefully funding my real life race car, which I'm hopefully going to be debuting in April.
Oh, no kidding. What are you running?
It's going to be a hobby stock.
Right on, man. Don't forget, in our Discord, we have my real ride folder where we like folks to post their real race cars and the results. I like to follow the results. I try to follow along as best I can, man. So that's super exciting. Congratulations again. Not to steal it from you, Chris, but congratulations on your podium, Jason, and good luck with the new ride.
By the way, I did hear you last week, and I will come see you when I come to Chico at Silver Dollar Speedway.
I can't wait, man. We just got the rig moved. It's open. You could be racing right behind me as I broadcast. So maybe we can make that happen. We'll have to see how that plays out.
I don't know how that worked out with me on a couple subtly pops, but we'll see.
Have a great weekend, man.
You too, man. Thanks for everything.
Yes, sir. Your winner, Randy Shreves, he moves up 2 positions from his start. Randy, this is Joe. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Joe.
Man, what a night all around. We were talking in the broadcast booth, Chris and I, and man, we didn't have big numbers, but I don't think you could get any better racing than what we got tonight, man. Walk us through your victory. Oh, by the way, welcome to the Dash for Cash, second season in a row. Walk us through your night in that 56 machine.
Well, yeah, I pretty much, started out in third, had some awesome battles there with Dan McLaren and Jason Haynes there. It's just, I don't know. I really didn't know that bottom was there until I accidentally had to go down there to avoid getting into Jason. So I kind of dove down low and noticed that I passed both of them. So I kind of just stuck it down there the rest of the race and kind of ran away with it.
So there was a moment where McLaren got into the wall a little bit. You checked up, and Haynes dove down low and almost got you both. Did that move surprise you, or did that let you know that bottom was ready to go?
Well, yeah, it definitely surprised me, but I didn't know that the bottom was there until I had to kind of avoid getting into them, and that's kind of when I found out there's something down there. So, but yeah, that was definitely an awesome race, a real clean race for it being Limaland. Normally that's a wreck fest, but man, that was some awesome racing tonight.
Yeah, it's been a great night, man. And you backed up last season's championship with week 2 Victory Lane Dash for the 56, man. You got anybody you'd like to thank for your drive to Victory Lane?
Yeah, first off, I definitely want to thank you, Joe, for putting on this awesome league, and I didn't want to let you down tonight. I seen that you picked me, so.
Atta boy.
And definitely want to thank my team, LGR Motorsports, ABR Setup Shop, Redline Race Design, One Wish Foundation, Wraps and Stitches, KSB Builders, Finish Line Repair, CD Cinematography, everybody at Gears Unlimited, Top Tier Race Control, the Dirt Track Bank. Definitely want to give a shout out to my son Dylan. Today's his 14th birthday, so I'm gonna say that one's for him.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. So you should have. Did your T-shirts make it yet? If not, they're gonna be here any day. I will tell you, man. We have the coolest trophies from last season. Billy Roberts from Gears Unlimited actually cut us, and I wasn't gonna say anything, but I can't find anybody to get stickers for me. But They make carbon fiber drive shafts for vehicles up to 4,000 horsepower, and he cut us 3 12-inch lengths. So you have that coming in the mail, man. As soon as I can figure out how to get something put on that, a sticker or something. If not, I'm going to send you the carbon fiber drive shaft. It has the ends on it for a trophy, and maybe I'll get that to you, and you can. I'll send you the stickers later once I figure it out. But man, super cool looking pieces of hardware. So you're going to have that coming in the mail, man. And as always, it's a pleasure watching you run a sprint car. And man, I wish you a great weekend.
Yeah, you too, Joe. And it's always, a pleasure to be here. It's always fun, clean racing, and yeah, definitely one of my favorite leagues.
All right, man. Have a great weekend.
You too, buddy.
All right, man. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's a wrap on week 2. As you heard, Chris, this track is notorious for Wreckfest, but tonight, man, they got it done. And give me your first impression of the booth here in a dirt booth with Got Your Six Racing Network.
Oh man, Got Your Six. This is great, dude. I tell you what, I wouldn't know this was a wreck fest. These drivers did a great job. Obviously, it's probably not a wreck fest because I'm not out there driving with them, so I probably appreciate that. But no, this is intense, man. I come from a world of road racing and things like that, where you have a little more time to breathe in between action. This is nonstop and it's fantastic. Thanks again for having me. It's for a great cause. Thank you for your service, and looking forward to the next time, brother.
Yeah, man, you're welcome in this booth anytime, so just let me know when you want to join us. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap for week 2. Thank you all for tuning in. As always, thank you all for your support. It really does matter, and I know in my heart we are making a difference to those veterans out there who are in a bad way. So thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back next week at the same time, so we will see you next week.
My name's Nick Powers, and I'm the president and lead instructor of Warfighter Scuba. I'm a veteran of the United States Marine Corps from the years 2003 to 2007, with 1 combat deployment to Haditha, Iraq in 2006. Throughout my time overseas, I experienced a lot of situations that you wouldn't necessarily find yourself in the United States. IEDs, getting shot at, rocket attacks, mortar attacks, you name it, it happened. When I got out of the Marine Corps in 2007, I tried to adjust back to civilian life, and the whole time you're in, you just can't wait to get out. And when you get out, you start to realize, did you make the right decision? 9 times out of 10, most of the guys that get out, they immediately plummet into a depression cycle because you don't have that structure anymore that the military provides you. And this hit me super hard. We moved to one of the #1 top dive destinations in the entire world, and I figured I'd start getting back into scuba diving. And after our first couple dives, I realized how peaceful it was underwater and how none of my problems followed me. You're just there in the present moment. I had the idea for Warfighter Scuba, and I kind of hinted at it, and they said, "You go for it." And that's basically how Warfighter Scuba was born. So Warfighter Scuba is a nonprofit. We're a 501c3 nonprofit with the IRS. We bring combat wounded veterans down to the Caribbean to teach them scuba diving to treat their wounds. Whether their wounds are physical or mental, such as PTSD, scuba diving is a extremely therapeutic activity for mental stressors and for physical ailments. Mentally, as soon as you go underwater, your body just reacts. It's not normal. You're not meant to breathe underwater. Automatically puts you into the present moment. You have nothing but peace and calm. This ability to separate yourself from reality really allows veterans to find out what their trigger mechanism might be for their particular mental stressors. So every veteran who comes through our programs gets a 100% funded trip. Each veteran also receives a round-trip ticket from their home of record. That ticket will bring them straight into Roatan, and their entire week stay, their hotel, their meals, their snacks, everything's paid for. And so that veteran can get an entire week away from reality and completely separate from any kind of problems they might be facing at home. So each veteran receives very private and intimate training sessions when they come down to Roatan. You know, we first start in the pool, we do some confined water skills, we'll then switch out to the open water dives. From that point on, it's not even training anymore, it's just fun. It's learning on a level that I don't think most people have experienced before. We do all the certifications for them that we can in a week at their pace, you know, from open water to full face mask to nitrox. Every trip that we have, whether it's one veteran or 4 veterans at a time, we just have a blast. You know, there's no bad karma. We've seen sharks, we've seen turtles. I mean, we've seen 4 eagle rays at once. I mean, just the things that happen when we're in the water together are truly, they're just unbelievable. The dedication that these vets have now to scuba diving and to wanting to come back and to help other veterans experience what they've experienced, it hits me in the heart more than most things have ever hit me in my heart. It's truly an honor to take, you know, these heroes into the water. It's really cool to see the transformation that happens to them, you know, from being, oh my gosh, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. You know, I've gone snorkeling a few times, or, you know, I'm not that good of a swimmer. And the funny thing about scuba is none of that matters. You know, you're completely weightless in the water. You could come down and have 0 experience in the water and be one of the better scuba divers out there. So as with all nonprofits, we rely solely on generous donors such as yourselves. None of these programs could exist without people who are willing to give some of their hard-earned money up to save veterans who might be struggling with everyday life and have that unfortunate thought of suicide. 100% of every dollar that's donated goes directly to the veterans. I personally, myself, I do not take any kind of money. All my time is donated. There's no salary to anybody who's on the board or any staff positions in Warfighter. Donations can be made on our website at www.warfighterscuba.org. And remember, every donation is 100% tax deductible.